Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be in your midst this evening. Yeah, the long awaited symposium is here, and we are so happy to have this session with everyone. What a good time to share and rub minds together. Today, I can see even I personally, my bowels, there's an hunger in my bowels because today is going to be fun field, knowledge field, and every other field that we can think of. Yeah. So this session is brought to you by Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting, one of the citadel of learning. Yeah, we cannot emphasize much, but it is one of a kind. You're welcome. I can see you, Temitope, Suleiman. You're welcome. Deborah, you're welcome. Good to have you here today. We'll be starting the symposium in a bit. Yeah, it's truly an honor to stand before such distinguished gathering of thinkers, innovators, and passionate individuals. We have come together not just to share ideas, but to ignite conversations that have power to shape our future. This symposium is more than just discussion. It is a crossroad of perspective, a place where curiosity meets discovery, and where the questions we ask today might lead to breakthroughs of tomorrow. So whether you are here as a speaker, a participant, or simply someone eager to learn, your presence adds a unique thread to this collective tapestry of knowledge. Yeah. The theme of our symposium today, it reminds us that progress is never a solitary endeavor. No, just like they say, the idiom that says, a tree cannot make a forest. Yes. So it is built on collaboration, on the willingness to listen, challenge, and grow each other. So let's not just hear each other. Let's just listen, and let's just not speak. Let's engage, because the most powerful ideas often emerge when diverse minds come together. And we can see from these, our panelists, we can see the likes of Dr. President, we can see the likes of Mr. Michael, we can see the likes of Mr. Dan. These are colossus in the finance world. These are titans. I cannot think of any other word to classify men of this caliber. But at the end of today's session, I believe there are words that we can now form to describe such scarce men in the world of finance and accounting.
I don't know how you did your settings for the Zoom, but please put it in such a way that participants
All right, we'll be starting in a bit. Damilare, Bankole, you're welcome. We're happy to have you here today. Okay, so guys, we'll begin the meeting today. So this is Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting, bridging the gap between academic knowledge and practical skills. Yes, so the theme of today is securing a better future as an accountant. Yes, so I want you guys to see this symposium as a story that is found in the Greek mythology. In the Greek belief, they see Prometheus as the creator of humans. So I'm going to share a little story that resonates with today's symposium. Now, are you aware that Prometheus was imprisoned by the overall god, Zeus? And the punishment for Prometheus was that an eagle will eat up his liver. And if that liver is consumed, another liver will regenerate and the eagle will continue eating that liver. So this is a repeated process, repeated punishment or an agony that this Prometheus passes through for eternity. And now we'll ask ourselves a question: why was such grave punishment given to Prometheus? The reason is because of one thing. He stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans. Now, the fire that we are using today, it is believed that the Prometheus stole it from the archives of the gods and gave it to man. And for such treacherous acts, he was punished for eternity. Now, today, PICOMA, which is Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting is going to release some secrets, some underlying factors. Bikoma is going to release some hints, some secrets that are not pronounced in our everyday interactions or activities as it concerns the profession. And this is going to be given to you on the platter of gold by great men, titans in the field of finance. So guys, we'll begin this session so that these secrets, these questions that have been in the mind of men will be exposed to the growth and sustainability of finance professionals. Or even if you are a young accountant, you can still benefit from this symposium today. So, I am the host for today. My name is Emmanuel. I'm going to be introducing myself. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel, a chartered accountant, and I currently serve as the senior accountant at Rome Business School, an international organization that offers services. Now, with a solid background in financial reporting, reconciliation, and process optimization, I'll be able to bring clarity and insight into modern finance practices, where I blend traditional expertise with technology, leveraging tools such as Power BI, Excel, Transact SQL to streamline reporting and decision-making. I'm also a dedicated finance educator and data analyst facilitator with Accountant Pathfinder, where I've trained professionals in data entry, modeling, visualization, and automation in the world of finance. So my passion lies in simplifying complex financial concepts and empowering others to apply them in the real world business settings. So I believe that accounting should go beyond compliance, yes, towards ownership, strategy, and entrepreneurship. So my commitment to excellence, structured thinking, and collaborative leadership makes me a valid voice in conversations shaping the future of accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, you can give us a thumbs up if you are in the meeting. You can also write your name in the chat and where you are listening from so that we can know your location and resonate with you in the meeting. Yes. So for today, what are we going to be discussing? What are the things that we are going to be unfolding? Yes. So this is the agenda for today. We are going to speak on matters that helps to shape and build capacity in accountants. So the keynote speaker, the first speaker for today, is going to tell us about accounting training and certifications. This is one of the key aspects in the professional world. As an accountant, you have passed through theoretical aspects in universities or even in your ICANN classes. But there are trainings, there are certifications that gives your voice backings, that gives you wings to fly even in the profession. So this is a robust topic that one of the speakers will be expatiating on today, so that everyone that wants to practice as an accountant would be saddled with the understanding and the ability to discharge duties in their respective industry. The second keynote speaker is going to give us an insight to the entry and progression in the Big Fours. So in case you have questions, you have desires on matters as it concerns the Big Four, how to gain entry, how to advance your career in the Big Four, we also have an expert in this symposium today that will be making justice to this subject matter. The keynote 3 is talking about job application and networking. And we also have another colossus in the world of finance who is going to give us secrets, who is going to give us illumination on job application and networking. Very, very, very important. Please, if there's anything that will distract you from this session today, please do away with it, so that these things that people normally pay money for as consultation or tutorship or mentorship, these are the things that will be given to you free of charge today. So I implore you to give 100% attention to the matters that will be discussed today. And after that, we'll be moving on to question and answer session. So in case you have questions, no problem. After the sessions with the experts, you can have a one-on-one conversation with them and get primary knowledge on matters that have been troubling you as it concerns the profession or even the field at large. So, the last but not the least, we are going to have a closing and vote of thanks. And we all will be happy, I believe. So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to talk about the brand Picoma. I know we have many questions. Many of us have just come across Picoma for the first time. What is Picoma? These are the things that we're going to share with you today. So what is Picoma? Picoma, as the acronym for Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting, where theory meets practice and where we build world-class professionals. So Picoma is a globally recognized institution dedicated to transforming education by bridging academic rigor with real-world expertise. Our multidisciplinary approach spans accounting, finance, management, human resource, corporate governance, and specialized fields like foreign taxation, equipping professionals to thrive in today's interconnected business landscape. With faculties and partnership worldwide, Picoma delivers tailored programs that addresses regional and international demands. Topicals like foreign taxation and international compliance. Picoma has faculty experts that guide students through cross-border tax treaties, transfer pricing, global regulatory frameworks, preparing them for roles in multinational corporations and advisory firms. Also, there is strength in foreign taxation and international compliance. There are also faculty experts that guide students through cross-border tax treaties. Yes. So, okay, permit me for that. So there is strength in accounting and finance. We can see PICOMA as a citadel of learning that produces experts in professional bodies like ICANN, ACCA certification, and tracks with industry-aligned software training. Yes, these are just but a few things that we can tell you about PICOMA. Also, PICOMA also provides training in corporate governance. So we can see where charter secretarial programs are being taught, blending it with legal and strategic competencies. Yes, this is one of the strengths that PICOMA has, even in the professional or educational sector. There's also expertise in management and HR. There's leadership development anchored in emerging market dynamics. There's digital transformation suite, where we can see trainings in data analytics and visualizations. In fact, recently, let me don't spill the bean for now. So they have training in AI applications, in finance and accounting, and also process automation. So now the question now becomes, why PICOMA? The first reason why PICOMA stands out as a citadel of learning in the global market is because of its practical excellence. So one of our flagship, which is Diploma in Applied Accounting, the acronym is DAA. Now, Diploma in Accounting prepare graduates, prepare, let's say, entry accountants or entry professionals to stand as authority even in the business world. Now, there is a testimony that we have here. In the next 1 month, we are going to be celebrating our graduates, the graduates in Diploma in Applied Accounting. Now, these graduates, they are special. Why do we say they are special? Now, if you look at our syllabus in DAE, it is robust in a case where we have training in software labs, live case studies. We also have training, over 50 hours plus training in data analytics, AI tools for financial statement analysis, automation of routine accounting process, corporate internship, and many more. So PICOMA stands out in the financial or in the educational sector, producing fattened professionals who have been built in capacity like data analytics and all the rest. And we have so many testimonies from our students. Some of them have seen promotion, some of them have seen networking and achievements that we cannot say in this symposium because of time. There's also Global Faculty Network, where you can learn from practitioners shaping industries across continents, including taxation specialists, the Big Four auditors, and corporate strategists. There's also careers acceleration in PICOMA, but we have 85% of graduates securing promotions or new roles within 6 months. Within 6 months. This is not, we are not trying to overhype ourselves, but this is the truth. And we have a testament to our employer-aligned curriculum. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a summary of what PICOMA stands as. So, in the next few minutes, I will be introducing the first speaker of the day, and I'm going to give you a summary of who our next speaker is. So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce to you a titan in the field of finance. So before I introduce Dr. President, I want to tell you a little story about myself that relates to Dr. President. So the first time I began my ICANN class, I was hungry. I wanted to be a chartered accountant. There was no foreknowledge before that time. In fact, so many stories about how ICANN is hard, that ICANN is very hard though. So the first day I was in the class, behold, as I just stepped to the class, it was this titan, Dr. President. And from that first day with Dr. President, I knew that ICANN is a go for me. And I can tell you for free that the first diet I wrote with ICANN, I wrote all 5 papers and I cleared all 5 papers. Thanks to giants like, personalities like Dr. President, who the whole world has not yet known, but we believe that persons like this will be in the forefront of the profession very soon. So Dr. President is going to be talking about accountant training and certifications. These are the things that he's going to give to us today. The importance of certifications, strategic planning for professional exams, how to balance work, study, and career development. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure and it is with humility I want to introduce Dr. President, who with a career spanning over a decade at the intersection of academia, industry, and professional certification. Dr. President has established himself as a transformative force in accounting, education, and practice. As the visionary founder and CEO of Accountants Pathfinder, Nigeria's premier ICANN training institution, he has redefined professional preparation by merging rigorous certification standards with real-world applicability, achieving a 95% plus exam success rate and equipping thousands with job-ready skills in financial reporting, taxation, and accounting software like Sage and QuickBooks. Dr. President also has leadership that extends across multiple spheres, where he's a corporate strategist in his role as a senior associate at VSC Chartered Accountant. He provides audits, tax, and advisory services to multinational clients, ensuring compliance with IFRS and GAAP standards while navigating complex cross-border financial landscape. He's also a global institution builder. He's a serving country director for World Innovators University and the Chartered Institute of Business Administration and Knowledge Management. He also drives initiatives aligned with sustainable development goals and lifelong learning. At the helm of Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting, which is PICOMA, Dr. Mr. President's mandate to include cutting-edge disciplines like data analytics, artificial intelligence, and automation in accounting. Also future-proofing professionals for the digital economy. His philosophy is this, that every difficulty is very simple. And this has been embodied in PICOMA's hands-on programs, where 85% of graduates report accelerated career progression within 6 months of completion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to also let you know that beyond institutional leadership, Mr. President is a doctorate holder and a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. He's a sought-after keynote speaker at international forums and a mentor to over 1,000 accountants, many who are now in leadership roles across Africa. His advocacy for ethical accounting practices and partnership with the Big Four firms underscores his commitment to elevating the profession globally. Now, this is a legacy. It's legacy in motion. Whether through pioneering educational methodologies, advising corporations, or championing technological integration in finance, Dr. Mr. President continues to shape a future where accounting professionals are not just certified, but indispensable strategic assets. With humility, I present to you, Dr. President. Sir, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I don't know if I'm audible from my end.
Yes, you're audible, sir.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, depending on where you are listening to me, because I know that we have people that are outside Nigeria who are in this program today. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. At the point I was thinking if you were actually going through my bio, I had to check again if I was the one with that portfolio. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate. I want to appreciate everybody in the house today. I think we have over 20 persons. That's a good number. Even the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered, his presence is there. So if we are 2 or 3 present here, I think we are good to go. All right, so before I give my paper, before I present my paper, just to add to what Mr. Emmanuel said about regarding to PICOMA, that's the short form or the abbreviation for Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting. If you allow him about 1 hour, he will not be able to say all what we do. Now, PICOMA itself was born out from the urge of bridging the gap between practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to sit at HRO levels where we interview individuals, we interview professionals, we interview people from diverse culture, diverse universities, diverse states, and we tend to understand that many of them comes with a lot of portfolios. Sometimes when you say present your information or present your credentials, you see somebody opening a portfolio. And when I mean a portfolio, I mean those suitcases that comes with numbers that you have to click the number. So maybe you use in locking that suitcase is 2020. So you have to put it on 2020 before you're able to open that suitcase. It is not like there's money in that suitcase. What is just there is the portfolios. Now, when the suitcase is open, you begin to see different credentials coming out from that bag, from that box. Different credentials, both professional qualifications, traditional conventional qualifications, those backed locally, and those that are also backed outside Nigeria. But when it comes down to business, like asking them the reality of life, many of them could not defend this. Now, I have seen this over the years. I will say, okay, what can we do? We have several universities in Nigeria. We have several universities abroad. These guys have been producing accountants. They have been producing specialists. individuals who are theoretically sound or who may be theoretically sound. But the question is, are they practically sound? Because what you are coming to do in the labor market is not theoretical, it is practical. When you are writing an examination and you make a mistake, it's simple for you to just use your pen and trash out that mistake. Or you cancel and start a new what? A new answer. But when you are working practically, there are some things that your pen cannot help you cancel. All right. So when those mistakes are done, those mistakes can taint your image. It can even affect the organization that you work. They come and take it upon themselves and say, okay, what can we do? Now, what we did was that we had, okay, why don't we create a forum where we are able to train individuals? Now, we are not training these individuals on the theoretical parts of the course that they have done, e.g. accounting, but what we do is to train them practically on these things. So if you have done taxation in school, and maybe a professor must have taught you in school, when you come out and you apply with PECOMA teaches you the practical side of taxation. How do you record tax transactions? How do you file tax? How do you account for organizations that have been in existence for about 10 years and they have not been preparing tax reports? How do you handle tax queries with tax officials? How do you help companies to reduce their tax liabilities? So we have a lot in taxation, transfer pricing, international dealings, and lots more like that. Now, it is clear in this field that taxation has money. All right, taxation has money. And what to make you to make this money is not the theoretical knowledge that you brought from ICANN. Neither is it the theoretical knowledge that you brought from Uni-Ilorin or Uniben or maybe University of Lagos. But the sound knowledge that you must have been equipped with that is practical, which we call in Pathfinder applied knowledge. So this is what we do. So when you are a graduate of a university and you intend to get practical skills, the right school that you should go to is the Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting. Our diverse faculty have some span of experiences, both nationally and internationally, because we also do international taxation, UK tax. Okay, so we have span of faculty that can handle all these things. And it doesn't cost much. We are not charging in dollar, we only charge in Naira. So there's not much you can pay for a symposium, or there's not much you can pay for a training of that nature, because the value will stay with you to eternity. If you desire to know more about what we do and the diploma courses that we offer, you can tend to reach us to us after this program. We are also in partnership with top universities, okay? We're also in partnership with professional bodies, and sometimes most of our certifications also comes from our partner bodies. So when we are running diploma in IFRS, we can get some of our certifications from foreign universities, that is universities that are outside the country. But be rest assured, the theoretical knowledge, the practical knowledge, everything would be taught and made available for you. So you can challenge status quo and you can challenge the economy once you are out there. I won't spend much of my time doing this. Now, what I would do is that I was given the opportunity to speak just within, is it 15 minutes or 20 minutes, Mr. Emmanuel? How many minutes do I have? Allow multiple presenters to share. Can I share my screen? Okay. All right, please kindly confirm that my screen is visible. Kindly confirm from your end that my screen is visible. Mr. Emmanuel, are you with me? Mr. Emmanuel, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
I need you to confirm that my screen is visible from the end.
Yes, I can see your screen, sir.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this symposium is proudly brought to you by Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting. And before I start, I would like to congratulate every one of you who has taken time to be present in this symposium. Now, it may be free, but trust me, before you check out from this particular section, you must have gathered several points that will help you to catapult your future. Now, permit me to say, as I usually teach my students, for every section that you are attending, do not attend that section without a pen and a paper or a jotter. You have watched Jennifer's diary, right? Yes, she always writes down all our experiences in a jotter, that's in a diary. If you're in this section and you're thinking, let me just stay and sit, I'm just listening to what they are saying without jotting down salient points, you may be missing out on one thing or the other. As perfectly tagged, the theme of this symposium is securing a better future as a chartered accountant. Now, that does not mean that everyone here must be chartered, or you must be chartered before you attend such a symposium. What this means is that in as much as you have a career path that is channeled into accounting or that is channeled into management science, then you have a place or a seat in this symposium. Now, permit me to say that in as much as the team is tagged as chartered accountants, the ideas that will be shared in today's section will also work for those who are not in the track of management science or in the track of being an accountant, because we're going to be talking about some things that affect individuals generally. I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm just going to come down. All right, so the next slide of mine. So welcome. And I'll be taking the address accountant training and certifications, while my other colleagues will do the entry and progression in the Big Four, and also the job application and networking for both accountants and generally. As rightly introduced, I'm Dr. President Onomoroya, MBA, FIMC, CMC, ACA, FMVA, BIDA. Now, I'll be starting my introduction or my section from executive summary. Now, the executive summary will talk about just a brief cut of all I'll be discussing in today's sections, just very brief. Now, the next one I'll be looking at is the evolving landscape of accounting. Now, I need to correct some things when it comes to accounting, because many of accounting really is, and I'll be correcting that misconception in today's section. The next thing I'll be dealing with is the key skill sets for modern accountants. Now, there's a reason why I target modern accountant. All right, okay, modern accountant. I'm going to be displaying that as we proceed, and I target key skill sets. So we have skill sets and we have those that are key to your success, especially if you are operating as a modern accountant. Then number 4 is talking about a training pathway. All right, training pathway. I will be sharing with you certain areas or certain ways that you can attend trainings, right? And you can grow as an accountant. I'll be working more on your psychological mindset. I'll be working more on your thoughts knowledge, and I'll be working more on your belief system in this part. Now, coming down, I would also be looking at number 5, which is top certifications for accountants. All right. So everybody think it must be an ACA. No, it mustn't be an ACA, right? So I'll be looking at top certifications for accountants. Then I'll move into institutional roles in training. There's no way you can born a good accountant or a good professional without institutions playing their roles. Who train these guys? Institutions train these guys. So if the institutions does not have a role to play, it means that these guys does not also have a role to play in the economy. So we need institutions to be up and running so that their products, their outputs will also be up and running. So I'll be addressing that institutional roles in training. Then number 7, I'll be looking at consequences of lack of training. If you don't get training, all right? If you are not trained, what is going to happen to you? If you don't eat, what happens to your system? What happens to your organs? I'm going to tell you what that means. Then number 8, I'll be looking at a simple case study, and my case study will be channeled to Pathfinder College model. I'll be using Pathfinder as a model to explain my case study. Now, in my next slide, which is going to be number, okay, that should be number 9. That will be recommendations for stakeholders. I will tell you who the stakeholders are, and I will give you my own recommendations, okay, that I think that if stakeholders are able to uphold, this is going to tell a lot in this career. I will conclude because I don't want to bore you. Then I will do a call to action. Then I have some strategic questions, some already arranged questions that you may be thinking of asking even after the symposium. I have them listed out. If the Mr. Emmanuel could give me time, I will address this question and give you profound solutions to this question. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Now let's go into the business of today. And the first thing we'll be looking at is my executive summary. All right, my executive summary. Now view my executive summary like your father asking you, where do you want to be in 10 years? Or tell me about your life. How do you want to spend your life on earth? That point you begin to give to your father, to your mentor, right? To your guardian, regarding how you intend to spend your life in the next 10 years. It's my executive summary. So within the next 15 to 20 minutes that I'm going to be the lead speaker right now, I'm going to be sharing with you what I want to discuss. Number 1, I'll be looking at the accounting profession. Okay, we state the accounting profession is changing due to globalization, tech, and new regulations. So we're looking at the changes that has been occurring in this profession over and over again. And trust me, when something changes, it simply means that it must force other things to change, right? When the government of your country changes, what happens? It also commands the economy to change. So there's going to be a change effect from one pole to another pole. So if you are a professional in accounting, if you're a student of accounting, you must keep yourself abreast with the changes that is occurring in that profession. If you don't keep yourself abreast, what is going to happen is that you're going to get out of the market, even when you think you are still in the market, right? And please note that these changes are not just national changes. That is why I tagged it as globalization. Many of these changes are global changes. They are changes that spans beyond your country. They spans beyond your continent. They go internationally. That is why many of us are familiar with the International Financial Reporting Standard. This is a standard that applies to over 100 countries in the world. Now we have changes in technology, which is the new normal, and we have new regulations. The introduction of IFRS 18 can be a good example of a new regulation. The introduction of your Finance Act can be an example of new regulations, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. The next thing under my executive summary is I'm going to also be talking about accountants must be more than bookkeepers. All right. So many individuals do not know that there's a very big difference between an accountant and an accountant. Let me put it that way, because I know all of you know the difference between an accountant and a bookkeeper. So there's a very big difference between somebody that says he's an accountant and somebody that says, I am an accountant. Now, let me make it more distinct. There's a difference between an accountant and an applied accountant. I would like to have the word applied before the accountant. So there's a difference between accountant and applied accountant. When you wear your suit in the morning after waking up by 5 a.m., you dress up, put your perfume, take the next bus or take your car key, and you drive to your office. And when you get to the office, the only thing that you record is sales transaction. The only thing you are giving permission to record is cash transaction, or you only record inventory what transaction. Then when you come back, somebody asks you, and what do you do? You say, oh, I'm an accountant. What do you do? Oh, I'm an accountant. Now, there's a very, very big difference, okay? There's a very, very big difference between that person that says he's an accountant and that person that says he's an applied accountant. Trust me, that person that has been saying, oh, I'm an accountant, oh, I'm an accountant, he knows nothing. He has always been in that particular position for 5-6 years. He's only specialized in that place. He only knows that thing. And if you even ask him some pertinent questions in that same role, he may not be able to give you solution. Why? Many of these guys are just after the money, but not after the knowledge. The same way they have been doing something since 2021 is the same way they have been doing that same thing in 2025. They do not buy into changes. And when you ask them, who are you? You say you're an accountant. It doesn't work that way. So we'll be looking at what are the basic difference between an accountant and an applied accountant and an accountant and a bookkeeper. Then they said they must be strategic, tech savvy, and professional. An accountant must be strategic, an accountant must be tech savvy, an accountant must be a professional. In fact, out of all these, I love the word strategic more than being tech savvy and being a professional. Many people can say, I can use Excel, I can use Power BI, but not all accountants are strategic. I wonder why I can remove CSME. I don't blame them that much. Accounting in ICANN should be purely streamlined to accounting and not management. So that is why they had to remove CSME from your syllabus. Anyways, they've spread most of it down to the SFM level. But you see that CSME is actually a top-notch course that ICANN has included over the years. And many individuals who have passed through CSME will understand, if they actually understand what CSME is, they would understand the role that CSME has come to play in the lives of accountants. I'm going to be talking about that as we proceed. Then the next one is going to be accountant must understand the right certifications and growth model to apply. See, there's one word I usually hear from accountants. Once I'm done with ICANN, I'm done. Like, you don't finish. You see, ICANN is the whole and all. Like, I cannot go to school again. My brain has formats. I don't understand. We'll be addressing that in this symposium, right? I'll be teaching you the right growth model that will work for you as an accountant. And if you apply it based on your own personality, you should get response, okay, to changes in this. All right. Then the next one we'll be looking at is accountant must embrace the various skill sets that set him or her apart and adapt toward flexible training pathways. Then finally, we'll be looking at the thoughts. This is very important. The thoughts of an accountant, the background of the accountant, the pride, and the influence control. Okay, those are the part of the things that jeer the growth of what an accountant. I'm going to explain how these things affect the accountant. And if you can listen to me to the end, you will understand that everything that I've tailored here would actually cause a change in your life after this symposium. Now, straight to business, the evolving landscape of accounting. Accounting is an ever-evolving profession. When we say something is evolving, we talk about something is changing, something is metamorphosing, something is actually being stretched from one boundary to another boundary. Accounting is not static. This is not a scientific experiment where you have to throw something in Lagos and it falls to the ground, and the same thing we apply in Meduguri, throw it up and fall to the ground. In the next 1,000 years, so shall it, that is how it will be. No, accounting in the early 2000s or accounting in the 90s, okay, it's different from the accounting that we are talking about right now. Those that qualified over 20 years ago knows less of what you know right now. All right, they know less of what you know right now. That means, why is this possible? This is possible because the profession itself is actually what changing. All right, the profession itself is actually evolving. And what do you need to do when a profession is evolving? When a profession is evolving, okay, when a profession is evolving, individuals are also meant to evolve at the same time. All right, when the economy is going left, you are meant to go with the economy. Now, for many of us that did budgeting very clearly, your lecturer must have taught you that private organizations usually wait for the budget of the federal government before they are able to actually prepare or launch their own budget. Now, why are they waiting? Because the budget of the federal government will actually give a roadmap as to where the economy would be going. Now, if you go and launch your own budget earlier than the federal government, what this implies is that you may be going contrary to where the economy is going. You need to understand where government will be pumping money into. You need to understand those sectors in the economy that government wants to close down. You need to understand those sectors in the economy that government wants to sponsor. So you'll be able to channel your own budgets to achieve these objectives. All right. So when a profession, e.g., when a profession, e.g., the accounting profession is actually evolving, it is right that you that call yourself an accountant or an accountant graduate should be able to evolve in line with this profession. I hope that makes sense. Now let's continue. The accountant of 10 years ago, all right, the accountants of 10 years ago, okay, so the accountants of 10 years ago can never fit into this economy if, all right, if they do not upskill, if they do not involve in continuous professional development. Now, what are the things that we need to note here? Traditional accountants focus on bookkeeping and compliance. Now, this is where I need to spell out something. All right, this is where I need to spell out something. If you look at the words I used there, I was very conscious of my words. I used the word traditional accountant, right? I used the word traditional word accountant. Now, why did I use the word traditional accountant? I'm talking about, let me use the word like your ordinary accountant, your accountant, all right? Let's say your old-fashioned accountant. Your old-fashioned accountant focuses more on bookkeeping and partly compliance. But today, accounting has gone beyond bookkeeping. Accounting is beyond you recording transactions. Please take note of that. Accounting is beyond you recording what? Transactions. So if you still find yourself recording transactions in your organization, all right? If you still find yourself recording transactions in your organization and you have a group of accountants in that organization, please ask yourself a question. Am I a good accountant? Am I a professional accountant? Because trust me, your boss, the big dons in this industry, many of them do not really record transactions. Many of them are now at the top management level where they begin to give strategic focus to the company. Please note that an accountant does not only provide records, they don't only prepare financial statements, they give strategic directions to organizations. That's why you cannot have a board of directors in a room having a meeting without the accountant or a chartered accountant present in that place. All right. So accountant, or let's say professional accountant, or better say an applied accountant, actually pays attention to that growth model that will make the company to skyrocket. They don't sit down and begin to take invoices and begin to record. No, that is part of the fees that they will pass through. But there will be a level in your career where what you do would not be recording any longer. You may be checking out those who are recording those transactions. Maybe they have OND, they have NCE, some of them maybe HND, but at the level and experience that you have gathered, you would not be stooped at that level to begin to prepare day books. So what you'll be doing is how you can model data that these guys have actually collated. When you model this data, you're able to use those data to make informed decisions. Somebody was asking me one time, I said, this account that we're doing now, I don't like that part where we'll be calculating the companies. I can't be looking for figures. I can't be checking bank statement and looking for figures. Is there any way we can go about it? I said, yes. Accounting is not all about keeping records. Accounting is not all about keeping financials or trying to use financials. There are other people in this accounting field that makes use of your financials to make decisions. All right. They do not keep the financials, but they are able to actually use your financials to make informed decisions. And there's a level of knowledge that you need to attain before you are able to do that. Right? There's a level of experience that you need to attain before you're able to achieve that. So please take note that accountants are more of bookkeepers. I usually tell people what you go to do in your company's bookkeeping, you have not really gone into the full accounting. Many of us don't even know how to close accounting records for the year end. All they know how to do is to create one Excel template and record all the sales or cash that comes in. And at the end, they still say they are accountants. That does not spell that you are an accountant. You are still at the verge of being a bookkeeper, or you are still a bookkeeper. Okay, but when you come to modern accountant, you go beyond the numbers. You read into the future of the company. You're able to do so many things for the company to go up. That is why most MD usually call accountants cost center. They call you a cost center because the only thing you do there is just to keep records. They don't see your impact. That is why they can change you at any time. When you misbehave, they can sack you, stay with that accountant for 3-4 months because they know what is that accountant coming to do, just to come and keep records. Don't worry, just put the advert out there. If they come 6 months later, that's not a problem. Bring them in and let them come and keep the records. But if the accountant is actually adding value by making decisions that is giving the company good profitability on a monthly basis, these guys will not be able to stay 1 month without employing an accountant. They will not be able to joke with you because you have come more, you are now with them more than the numbers into achieving what profitability. So please take note of that. Now, today, they play a strategic role in decision making, risk management, and performance. So that's what I've said. So today, accountants do not just keep records. What do they do? They are now in strategic roles. They are now partaking in strategic roles. They are now into core decision makings. They are now into risk management. Accountants are able to advise the company on how to curb risk. Imagine, they are able to advise the company on how to mitigate risk. That is what they do. Accountants are able to measure performance of companies in relation to their industry competitors and be able to provide solutions that this company will be able to use to scale up. When you see some accountants prospering in their field, it's not juju. It's because they have been able to groom and train themselves to the aspect of their life, of their profession, where these guys not deal on pressing Excel. They deal on using high-level data and high-level tools to make informed decisions, right? Now, the next point that we need to understand under this evolving landscape of accounting is the emerging trends. Now, there have been a lot of trends that has been going on in the profession right now. Now, it is not just peculiar to accountants particularly. Even those in the medicals, those in engineering, they now have advanced tools that they use for decision making and for data analytics, right? I remember many years ago we had stories that accountant usually uses a very big machine. I think they call it punching machine or so, that they use in doing calculator to calculate sales or to calculate transactions. Now, when they make mistake, even after they have done the number 50th transaction for the day, they make mistake, they will have to cancel everything and start all over again. Now, why was this so? The automation at that time was more or less similar to manual. But in today's era, we have so many automations, right? We have things that gives you instant solution. In fact, when you start plugging data into those automations, into those tools, those things begins to give you instant solutions or instant responses. For example, the way AI is going now, some accountants are asking me, or they're asking themselves, are you sure this accounting profession will not fade out? Because AI is technically doing many of those things. Now, instead of you asking this question, why don't you find yourself doing AI? Why don't you find yourself not being a developer, because you may not be able to develop an AI, but you should be able to use an AI tool. Now, in as much as we have AI, we also need individuals who understand the way this AI works. And when you understand the way something works, you're able to use that thing efficiently for fast solution. So why don't you look into AI? Oh, I don't have a computer background. You do not need a computer background to understand how AI works, right? If you subject yourself to 3 months training, you should be able to understand the workings of AI. What about data analytics? I'm not conversant with this. Hey, I don't like this. In fact, in my place of work, we don't even need this kind of skill. Once you just start to do your plus, minus, I don't understand. Must you always put yourself in such a way that you want to remain at your current place of work for the next 50 years? When you are gathering knowledge, you are not gathering knowledge because you want to be at your place of work for that period. You are looking at upskilling. And anybody that is looking at upskilling is actually looking at a way that is able to grow. And growth comes when you move. You can't be on a position and say you are growing. So when somebody say learn a skill, the person is not after your money. The person is not talking because you pour yam water in his mouth. The person is actually talking because he knows that these are the skills that an accountant or an individual needs to upskill. So when we talk about data analytics, you ask yourself, how can I grow as an accountant using data analytics? Which course do I need to go for? What do I need to use as my trainer? Okay, because you need a very good trainer. Trust me, in every of these things, you need a very good trainer. There's some people that will train you when you even graduate, you don't even know the usefulness of what you did. But there's some people that will train you, they'll tell you how you can apply this and how you can even stand on your own. You need a very good knowledge in these skills. What about ESG? What about ESG? We need a very good ESG, right? Environmental, social, and governance. Environmental, social, and it interests you to note that the company will just get somebody that is very good at ESG compliance. See, you may be an accountant, but you don't know how to prepare bank reconciliation statement. But when it comes to ESG compliance, done, you are good. Now, what does this mean? It means that you understand environmental laws. It means that you understand socio-cultural activities. It means that you understand the concept of governance. There's no company that can exist or that can grow, let me put it that way, without having good governance, right? So you need good governance before you can grow. And being an accountant means that you can actually initiate good governance in a company. It means that if you understand environmental issues, you can tell the company of those things that they would do environmentally wise that may affect their reputation, those things that they will do environmentally wise that will actually bring good name to their reputation. Companies are looking for them. All right? Companies are looking for them. Now, the funny part is that you guys don't know, or many of us do not know, even when we see a job vacancy in that respect, we don't know. So we just think, I didn't study environmental science, I didn't study environmental ecology, I didn't study anything relating to that. But they don't know that an accountant has a role in ESG. They don't know. Now, the next thing is automation. Automation. Now, when some people hear automation, they usually channel these things to science based. I don't understand. Now, this profession itself is multifaceted. What this means is that we can appear anywhere, do our thing, and leave. When engineers are talking, we are there. Okay, go to manufacturing companies and see accountants in a meeting of engineers. Engineers talking about chemicals, okay, or let us say chemical scientists talking about chemicals or talking about ingredients or inputs that they are going to mix to produce maybe, let's say, a bottle of drink. And you see accountants there calculating the degree, calculating the portion of these chemicals or of these ingredients, and calculating the cost effect of these things. But people don't know. So when they hear automation, they think, what is automation? What is automation? Automation is simply means the ability of something to work with less human effort. The ability of something working with less human effort. So when you are able to build automation, what that means is that you're able to build a system that works without what? Without much what? Without much input. Now, I'm going to give you a very, very practical example. Many years ago, when I was in the industry, right, I worked with a particular organization, and trust me, before I gained when I got that offer, I usually hear issues that accountant usually leaves, and because of the tedious nature of the work, it's kind of cumbersome. All right, they find this stressful and everything. I said, okay. As an accountant, I would also like to face this challenge and see what these accountants are actually going through. Let's see if I can actually provide solutions to it. Now, what I did was that I did a work study, right? Now, what did I do? I went through the whole decision-making process. I went through the whole accounting process. It means that I have to discuss with directors, know what they need as information, right? I knew what they needed. Then what I did was that I spent some days. I went back to my drawing board. I had an HP laptop then. I opened my HP laptop. I said, okay, what can I do for this organization? I want a scenario where I'm able to provide all this information for directors seamlessly without issues. Now, I opened my Excel and I modeled, right? I modeled. Now, what did I model? What did I model? I modeled a complete accounting system, right? Now, the complete accounting system can automatically prepare profit and loss account as at the end of every month. Now, this system can also prepare. Please, can you still hear me? Somebody is saying my line is breaking. Is this general or is it just peculiar to R? Is this general, please? Mr. Manuel, can you hear me? Is this general?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so TLC Abayomi, please check your network. I had to build a comprehensive model. And what this model does was that this model was able to track financial reports. What I only need to do is record what actually happened. Now, when I record what actually happened, at the back end, it is automatically preparing my financials, no effort. So that means that as at 30th or 31st of the month, immediately I can produce my financials. Once it is close of business, and I say business is closed for 31st or for 30th, the financials are automatically ready. My payrolls are automatically ready because this thing prepares it automatically. I was able to survive in such an organization for years, and they asked me, how was I able to do this? That it was usually too very tedious. Salaries are being paid second week in the next month. They can't even pay salary in time. There's a lot of mistakes. And I said, there are ways that these things are done. When you need a simple life, go for the rigid training. It's as simple as that. When you need a simple life, go for the rigid training. I have gone for the rigid training, and I can now make life easier for myself. Sometimes when I come to work, I just watch YouTube. Unethically, right? Very unethical, right? But I watch YouTube, training myself, rather than focusing myself on transactions and things that my automation will do for me. So please, let's focus on automation. Let's focus on automation. It's going to help us a lot. Now, the industry requires continuous learning and remain competitive. I want to applaud ICANN and several professional bodies for this part, okay? They call it CPD. I think continuous professional development is ICANN. Continuous professional development talks about those trainings that ICANN or professional body does on a regular, just to upskill you. But trust me, those trainings are never enough. You need somebody that understands and has passion for these things who will be able to groom you and train you, because most of those their trainings are paid one day. So there are a lot in those trainings that you may not be able to get in a day. Okay, I think some of their trainings are spanning into 1 week as well. So please, you should also look into continuous learning, okay, so that you can remain competitive in the industry. So I will conclude this evolving landscape of accounting with this word. I put it here, remember, the goal is to evolve alongside the profession. So ask yourself this question: am I evolving as my profession is evolving? Now, you cannot even answer that question because, one, you don't even know if your profession is evolving. Secondly, if you don't know if your profession is evolving, how would you evolve? Many of us do not belong to a cabal. The word cabal here will mean a group, an inner circle. Many of us do not have mentors. Many of us do not belong to an association that actually reminds us of the changes that happen in this profession. We just feel like we are focused on our natural life, waking up, going to your employer's place of work, going to your place of work, coming back, eat, sleep, your normal routine. You don't keep yourself abreast with changes. This wouldn't work well for you. Now, the next thing on my slide is going to be, is it skill sets? Okay, yeah, skill sets for modern accountant. Please emphasis on the word modern accountant. So that means that you have actually blended with what is obtainable in practice, right? You are actually blended with what is obtainable in practice. Do not call yourself an accountant if you are not yet an applied accountant. So whether you are a graduate accountant or a professional accountant, if you intend to grow in this profession, you must carry the whole armor of relevance. I'm going to take that again. Whether you are a graduate accountant or whether you are a professional accountant, if you don't intend to grow in this, if you intend to grow in this profession, you must carry the whole armor of relevance. This quote is basically mine. Okay, that is why my name is quoted in front of it. So please, this quote is very, very important. Jot that down and use that as your cream. Let me use that word. Use that as your motivator. Whether you are a graduate or professional accountant, please, and you intend to grow in this profession, ensure you carry the whole armor of relevance. Now, what is the armor of relevance? The armor of relevance is the skill set. Okay, the armor of relevance is the skill set. And for you to have the skill set, another quote that will come to your mind is this: don't just say, I am a professional accountant. What do you need to say? Say, I am an applied accountant with valuable skill set. There are so many ACAs and ACCAs, right? So what stands you out from all of you is what? The skill set that you have gathered. Okay? The skill set that you have gathered. And what are the examples of those skill sets? We have the technical, all right? The technical skill set. Now, what is the technical skill set? Example is mastery of IFRS. When you are I can spend 3 months and go and master IFRS, pure IFRS training. The 3 months will not kill you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have about over 70 years to spend on earth. So learning something for 3 months that will help you till you graduate from this life, it's never going to kill you. The challenge that we have as accountants is that we are very greedy with ourselves. We don't like spending money. When you tell somebody that the training is 200,000, you say, my full salary. Imagine that. How do you want to grow? How do you want to increase? Then when you see somebody that is advancing in life, you need to say, hey, God, help me. God has helped you, but you are not helping yourself. God has helped you, but you are never helping yourself. Over the years, you remain in one position. Over the years, you earn similar salaries. Over the years, your growth model is declining. And you tell yourself, you go for 9 vigils and you go for prayer. These are very good. 9 vigils are good. Prayers are good. But sometimes you need a personal effort and a personal what we think from your end. Attend a training. IFRS training will not cost you more than 180,000 naira. But when you call that 180,000 naira now, it's a big challenge. Hey, my salary is 70,000. Hey, my salary is 80,000. But when you have a family problem, many of us will now know how to go and borrow money from PalmPay. So that money you have to go and borrow from PalmPay to solve a problem that will not bring results, that will not bring positive feedback. It may even be a problem that will even lead to further problem. Why can't you still collect that loan and use your salary to pay over the month and still obtain a training that will change your life forever? That is one thing that you must note, please. That is one thing that you must note. Now, the next one, apart from IFRS, is IPSAS, right? IPSAS is a standard that governs public sector. So we call it International Public Sector Accounting Standard. So if you intend to work with public sector, all right, so you may need to go for a training on IPSAS, right? You need to go to a training on IPSAS. I can offer training for IPSAS, right? Then I can also offer training for IFRS. Pathfinder also offers diploma program in IFRS, core IFRS. And our own IFRS is called applied IFRS. It is quite different from any other IFRS training you can see out there. We do it applied. Our software is on, our Excel sheet is on, and we are able to do it what? Applied. Now, the next one is technical involves audits, financial reporting. Hey, I'm an accountant, I need to prepare financial statement. Just go and check that financial statement that these guys are preparing. Many of it are bandadas. Many of them does not even know how to record the disposal and sale of assets. Many of them have been posting fake and wrong double entries for over 5 years, but because there was nobody to correct them, don't know they're actually doing wrong or doing a wrong thing. So sometimes have a mentor, have somebody that you go back to. But what usually happens to accountants is that they are covered with the suits of pride. That is ACA now. Me too, I'm ACA. Why would I go to him for one thing? Am I not ACA? Or I'm a BSc now. Why would I go to him for this thing? But you have forgotten the fact that even God himself in heaven needed man to execute most of his tasks. There was a point that God himself was liaising with most of the apostles in the Bible. The likes of Moses, the likes of Abraham, God was discussing with them. He said, should I destroy? He said, if you see one person do not destroy, God said, okay, let me go and check. Then when he checked, he said, I did not see anybody there. So there was a point even when somebody of superiority is even discussing with somebody of what? That is lower than him. But accountants are filled with pride. Pride will not allow them to learn. Pride will not allow them to unlearn. So they feel like you can ask questions. Even at a place of thought, you cannot ask questions. You can't even ask somebody questions. Some of them will even be asking some kind of questions that they can even Google. Check ability to get answers. Very lazy set of individuals. Sorry to say, use those words. So for you to have technical, you must discipline yourself. You must tell yourself, what is my plan? What is my focus? Don't allow finance to be an issue. If the money is too big, and I'm not telling you to go and steal, look for a very good training that will commensurate with whatever you have. But trust me, do not always go for the trainings because those trainings may not have good values. The next one you need to focus your mind about is technological. Now, there's no accountant that we know now that is into record keeping that does not have technological skills or that will not need technological skills. Example of the technological skills that we're talking about is the use of Microsoft Excel. And somebody will say, what is Excel? I'm using Excel. I'll tell you a very brief story. I'll be running up very soon. And this is just a very brief story. I was in an audit firm about, that should be last 2 years. Yes, I think so. So I just wanted to say the partner of the audit firm is a very senior colleague. Then waiting for him, I was sitting down close to one of the audits. I don't know whether she's a trainee. she should be, because she said she just joined about 6 months ago. Now she's a trainee and she was trying to impute some records into Excel. Now, what I saw this lady doing is what my foundation students in accounting, okay, when you come to diploma, my foundation students in accounting cannot even think of doing it because it is an insult to the profession. Imagine you are trying to record sales for a bar, because prepare an account for a bar. You're trying to record drinks and sales for a bar. You are recording it one after the other. Okay, let's, for example, 50 years, then on that column, she will go to 1,500 naira. Then the next column, she will now say equal to 50 times 1,500. Answer will come. She will now go to the next line and say 70 Gouda. Now go to the next line and say 1,200. Now go back to the next, the formula and say equal to 70 Gouda and 1,200. She was just pressing formulas manually. So if she had 1,000 records to keep that day, she has to type the formula 1,000 times. I was looking at her. I was looking at her. Maybe she was just using to pass time. I never knew. Then I said, okay, do you know you can do this thing faster? He said, no, that this is the fastest way that she can go about it. Okay, you know, this thing can be much more faster. He said, I should show her. Remember, I just drag the formula. Just hold the amount and drag the formula. And everything that she will be inputting was just calculating by itself. He said, I've never seen this before. I said, are you sure you've never seen this? Are you pulling my? She said, I've never seen this before. She took my number and said, I will take her on Excel training. And she's a graduate of accounting. She's a graduate of accounting. Now, if nobody stood up or if nobody corrected her, she would think that that is the way it is done everywhere in Nigeria or everywhere in the world. So sometimes you must learn. Sometimes you must ask. Even I myself, sometimes I pay for trainings I already know. Imagine I know Sage and I'm going to pay for another training on Sage just because I want to know more. I want to know, is this person going to teach me something new? I pay. And so even if I don't get anything new, I still commend the person. If I get something new, I say, wow, that means I still have a lot to learn. So these are the things that we should focus on, we should look into, all right? We should actually look into. The next one is strategic. I love strategic. Strategic simply means advising roles, right? Forecasting, financial planning, help companies to forecast, help companies to plan, help advise companies, use models, performance management tools to advise companies. That will help you a lot. But the last one among the key skill sets is our soft skill. You see this one, accountants usually, they don't even regard it. If you tell accountants to come for a leadership training, what is leadership? What concerns leadership? They want to hear training like Sage training, QuickBooks training. Why? Must everybody do that? Everybody knows that. So you need to also learn things that people do not know. As an accountant, you are a leader. You may find yourself at the head of account tomorrow. You need leadership skills. You need ethics. Many of our works are surrounded by ethics. You need communication. How you're able to communicate to clients. How you're able to calm situations. You need critical thinking. You must be able to think on your toes. These things are skills. And when you are trying to go with these skills, when you're trying to exhibit these skills, you must have been trained by a professional. You must have read several leadership books for you to be able to lead a team. So you can't call yourself a team lead because your company made you a team lead. You call yourself a team lead because you have leadership skills, you have leadership attributes, which you are able to exhibit in your organizations and even far beyond. So please, let's take note of those key skill sets: the technical skill set, the technological skill set, the strategic skill sets, and the soft skills, right? Now let's go forward. Let's go forward. That will lead us to our training pathway, right? Training pathway. Now, accountants can learn through various modes or various means. Now, what are these modes or means? Traditional classroom, all right? Come to the classroom, sit down and learn. Humble yourself to learn. Hey, I don't have time. You do have time. You do have time. When will you have time? Before you know you are 70, before you know you are 50, before you know your career is gone, you don't have time. The person you are working for has time. So you have to create time. If you are able to have a good communication with your boss, you are able to create time for yourself. Everybody needs time. You work from Monday to Friday. Saturday is free. Even if you want to wash your clothes or do laundry, calculate your time. I'm going to spend 3 hours in washing my clothes. I'm going to spend 6 hours in class. Try to do something. The earlier you make preparations to these things, the better for you for the future. The next one is online hybrid. Okay, Pathfinder, thanks to Pathfinder, which is actually contributing to online learning. That's why we are able to provide online learning for accountants that are studying ICANN. They're going through the ICANN pathway, the ACCA pathway, and also for applied accountants that are under the Pathfinder College of Finance and Accounting. We're able to make them understand that you don't just stereotype yourself and say it must be in classroom. No. I still hear some students telling me that it must be in classroom. I don't like online. Sometimes you must train yourself. You must nurture yourself. You must breed yourself. There are some trainings that you cannot see physically, but there's some trainings that the training provider may not be there physically. But you must tell yourself, okay, fine, if it's gonna be online, I need to discipline myself to attend this online class and get value for it. I understand how many instructors may have misused the online platform, but trust me, there are still many of us out there who are able to use this online platform much more efficient than you're able to understand. Just like what we are doing today. If this was an MBA class, trust me, you're already understanding what we are doing. If this was an ICANN management class, trust me, you're already understanding what we are doing. So do not just say because it is online, it does not make sense. Pathfinder has been able to distinguish itself from that area. We're able to provide even calculation courses online, and it's seamless. Students are passing. PM student can testify, FRO student can testify. All right? They're actually passing even with the online class. The next one is attend short courses for targeted audience. We have some short courses, right? We have some short courses for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. Now, the problem I have with accountant when it comes to this is that when an accountant starts something, the first 2 days or the first 3 days, will be there. After that time, work will hit them at their place of work. Life will hit them. Situation will hit them. Nigeria will hit them. Before you know, they lose interest. They lose focus. They're unable to go ahead with these courses. Don't forget, you have paid for it. The instructor has collected money for it. The instructor is delivering these lectures, but you don't log in on Zoom to listen to him. You don't watch the videos to listen to him. Sometimes when you're supposed to be watching the videos or when you're supposed to be listening to him, you will allow the wind of sleep to blow you and you start snoring. You allow things to begin to distract you. Many of you, once you just see TikTok like this, before you know you're in TikTok, you can spend 3 hours on TikTok. You can spend 3 hours watching movies, watching Avengers, watching some comic movies, some kind of Sabinus and the likes. But when it comes to studies, you cannot even spend 5 minutes. Once you are reading, looking to that video for 2 minutes, your mouth is already open, you're started snoring. Everything is covered already. Before you know, your phone is off. So please, when you're enrolling for short courses or for training courses, tell yourself, I need to be disciplined throughout this course. So you're able to what? Obtain value. The last one is full program for foundation and professional development. So you can also enroll for a full program, right? Okay, a full program where you are sometimes it's going to be both online and physical. But just enroll for a full program, maybe an ICANN program, maybe an ACC program, CFA program, the likes of it, or maybe the Pathfinder diploma program. These are full programs that you can enroll with, where you see other colleagues that will also ginger you in these spheres of life, right? So these are the training pathways. You must not necessarily say you must be in class. You can either be in class or be on what? Online learning, right? You must not necessarily be in a country. You can learn even when you are not in that country. We have so many elements. LMS means learning management system. We have so many elements that you can actually leverage on. But the problem that we have is that accountants are always looking for free trainings. Free trainings will never give you all the skills that you need. Pay for trainings, get these trainings, and be good at it. Now, the last thing I would like to be concluding on is skills based on career goals and learning system. Now, should I go for physical? Should I go for online? Short courses or full program? Choose based on your career goals and your learning style. All right. Let nobody impose something on you, but sometimes be able to adapt to changes in the economy. I remember during the COVID-19, that was when Zoom and Google Meet became prominent. So now you can learn with your Zoom, Google Meet, just like the way we are doing today, right? You don't need to be in the classroom again. So people are in Sokoto, but they are learning from we Pathfinders here in Lagos. We have students all over the country, some in the US, they are learning from Pathfinder via Zoom, and they're getting value for it. So please, let's correct that. That is partly, and that's our training pathway. So next, I'm going to be going to our top certifications for accountants. I believe you are still with me. Now, what are the certifications? People ask me, which professional body should I go for? Which professional body should I go this? Which professional body should I do that? So I'm going to be giving you just brief of certifications that you can actually venture into. And we all know ICANN, right? ICANN is being issued in Nigeria, and it's general. Okay, the area is general, and the global is high. It is very high in Africa, okay? Although recently ICANN is actually gaining ground in other European countries of the world. They're entering into strong partnership, right? So you can either enroll for an ICANN program as a certification. As far as an accountant in Nigeria, ICANN is sufficient. Now, when I mean ICANN is sufficient, it is sufficient for you to be a normal accountant. That is a professional accountant. But when you want to be a after sort or what sought after accountant, ICANN is never sufficient. Quote me anywhere in the world. If you want to be a professional accountant, ICANN is sufficient, or professional bodies are sufficient. But if you want to be a sought after accountant, your professional certification is never sufficient. You must diverse yourself. You must out of this boundary of professional qualifications and go into some short courses and trainings that have been taught by global experts, which are able to position you for better decision making. Imagine, I was watching a movie one time. The guy was a accountant in the movie. And anytime the company wants to go and close any deal at all, it's this guy they must send. They have marketing or they have RBD. But if this guy is not in that team, the MD will fly from anywhere that he is to tell this guy to be on that team. Because this guy knows how to close deals. It's never his challenge. So the way the movie ended, or the way the thing ended, was that the deal that he closed was a federal government deal in Abuja. They have been fighting for this deal even before the guy came into that organization. And the moment they had an opportunity again to go on that deal, the MD had to tell this guy that this guy must represent the company. And to God be the glory, this guy was able to eat that particular deal. And you know what he did? When he came back from the deal and the MD was congratulating him, then he made a statement and said, and we have to move straight into work. You know what the guy said? The guy said, I would not be able to move straight into work right now. I just need to go and rest. And then he looked at and said, anything you say is done. See, this guy is sought after. If he says he wants to go today, the MD will have to be compensating. If you have to do a lot of things to keep him, can you ask yourself, if you want to live in your company, who will beg you? And when we tell, if you got to tell your boss, I would like to leave, we're going to prepare a paycheck for you. That is it, and you will leave. Nobody is coming to tell you and begin to advise you and say, are you sure? This is what you want to leave. Are you sure? Nobody will even tell you that they're going to give you a car or pay for your apartment or sponsor your children just to keep you there. Ask yourself those questions. Am I getting this benefit? If I'm able to do this, if my company is able to do this for me, that means I'm an sought after accountant. So take it from me, your professional certificate will make you a professional accountant, but that does not make you a sought after accountant. Even if you have ICANN, you may get that job, but you may not be able to sustain on that job. Quote me anywhere. The next one is your ACCA. This is the global accounting body. All right. It's a UK-based. Their focus is on global finance, okay, and they are also very high. Very high means they operate globally, right? They are accepted, especially in the UK. They are accepted globally anywhere in the world. You have the CPA. CPA is US-based. Okay, CPA is US-based. So public accounting, and they're also very high. They are more accepted in the US, in the US states, okay, and the states in the US. We have the CMA, okay, it's focused on management accountant, focused on cost management, and their reputation of their global is also high. We have the CFA data, the CFA Institute. Their focus is on investment, and it is very high. Okay, we don't have much CFA professionals, right? Then we have CISA. CISA is issued by ISACA. Okay, so ISACA, the area is on IT audit. So for those of you that want to become auditors, IT auditors, you can go for CISA, right? They are all for the ISACA is a US base, right? And their global use is very, very high. Okay, it is high. Then we have the CIA. The focus is the of auditors. Their focus is on internal audits. That is of internal auditors. The focus is on internal audits, and their global use is also high. Then we have the IPKM. The IPKM is the only professional body that is up right now on applied management, right? And it is growing because it's the only professional body in the world right now that is based on innovation. So innovation is the key as we speak right now. That is why the professional body is trying to inculcate that into every other professionals, right? Then the last one that we have right now is the CITN. The CITN is issued by the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, and their focus is on taxation, basically taxation. And the global use is basically in Nigeria. You can use your CITN Nigeria. Now you can go through each of these professional bodies and ask yourself, where does my career path lies? If you want to become an accountant, go for ICANN. If you also want to become a global accountant, go for ACCA. All right. But just note that ACCA is globally recognized. ICANN is also recognized, right? But the difference is that ACCA cost of being a student and graduating is quite on the high side, and the ICANN is being paid in local currency in Naira, so it's quite cheaper. And when you have your ICANN, you can actually cross into being an ACCA member. All right. Then you can go for CPA. ICANN has an agreement with ACCA. ICANN has an agreement with CPA. So that means that if you're an ICANN qualified, you can also be an ACCA qualified by writing 4 papers. And I think you can also be for CPA. For CPA, yes, we recently closed a deal with CPA. I think that should be this year or last year. We had a deal with CPA. Then we have for long had a deal with CIMA. All right, CIMA is the sister body to CPA, right? CIMA and CPA are sister organizations. So we have for long had an MOU with CIMA. So as of recently, about last year or this year, we actually closed the deal also with CPA. That makes sense. So for CFA, I don't think we have any arrangement with CFA for now because CFA is purely investment. So ICANN is not directly correlated with investment. So I think that's why they have not been able to close any deal in that. All right. So that is that about that. So let's go on. Let's go on. The next one we'll be looking at is institutional roles in training. Institutional roles in training. So just very brief, everyone has a role to play with training and development, whether you are a trainer or trainee. Now, what the institution has to play? Institution must not only teach theory, but also offer practical skills. Yes, institutions like universities, institutions like Pathfinder, institutions like business schools, they must not only teach theory, but practical skills. Now, Pathfinder as a school has actually been able to bring classroom and reward accounting. It means that Pathfinder has singled out itself. It is not using applied accounting as its roadmap, right? Then you should also try to have partnership with ICANN, ACC, IBKM to enhance credibility. Institutions should partner with ICANN. That's why you hear the word ICANN accredited institutions, because they are partnered with ICANN, so that they are able to align their syllabus with ICANN. Then the next one is importance of internship, simulation, and practical assessment. Institutions should go into internship, send students out for internship, monitor them, and also send them out for practical assessment. So that will be that. My case study is going to be Pathfinder College. And what I'll just be saying here is how Pathfinder is able to make itself singled it out with respect to applied accounting training. Now, Pathfinder offers a good professional program, meaning both physical and online trainings. Pathfinder focuses on applied training. So you can either be an applied auditing or applied IT. Then Pathfinder has a physical and an online assessment, which LMS, learning management system. Now, Pathfinder faculty are well experienced, and Pathfinder has partnership with IBATM, the Institute of Business Administration and Knowledge Management, the Chartered Institute of Business Administration and Knowledge Management, the World Education Institutional Management Organization for certification and global recognition. So this is just what Pathfinder does, right? And this is the tip. Share your learning journey. People connect more with growth with their what than with perfection. So share your learning journey with people. People are able to connect with you, and they're able to also learn from you. Then finally, I also have recommendations to stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Institutions are stakeholders, regulators are stakeholders, employers are stakeholders, individuals are stakeholders. So we are recommending to them. For institutions, let them align their curriculum with professional certification, just like the way universities in Nigeria also doing. Then for regulators, they should support CPD with professional development and tech-based education. For employers, they should sponsor certification and creative learning culture. Then for individuals, the lifelong learners, stay certified and relevant. So you must be relevant. And how do you remain relevant? Learn skills. Be certified to remain relevant. So I will be concluding my section. So here are the game plan for this section. Future accountant must be adaptable and certified. Please take note of that. As an accountant, must be adaptable and certified. Do not allow technology to take you out of your current state. As technology is changing, you also change. Training and certification is the and you must be certified. That is the path that will make you to grow professionally. Then embrace continuous learning to remain future-proof. If you don't learn, you remain wherever you are. When you learn, you remain future-proof. Even into the future, you remain relevant. Then what you need to do is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the key to career resilience. And finally, know what's best for you and go for it. Avoid public criticism. When you have a vision, you are a chartered accountant and you want to do another program. Then you are attending your I would like to do this program. The person will tell you, why do you want to do that program? Are you not chartered already? Why must you go for that program? That doesn't make sense. What is good for you may not be good for that person. So take your part, make decisions on your toes, and use those decisions, right? Use those decisions. So please find a way to wish yourself the best and do the best. Do not accept all advices or criticism that you get from outside. Always flow with your mind as well, and also make research. Google is there. Then the next one is accountants who fail to upskill. That is my call to action. Accountants who fail to upskill will be replaced by automation. Those who certify and train will lead the profession. So please try to upskill as an accountant. That's the only way that you can remain relevant in this profession. All right? That's the way you can remain relevant. Then finally, I have questions, but I'm not going to answer questions. These are just questions that you can actually go through. The slides were made available for you. And if possible, maybe the moderator may be able to look at most of these questions at the end of this discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with me, and I appreciate your audience. Mr. Emmanuel, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. President. I cannot agree with you less when you said those who certified and trained, those who are certified and those who are trained will lead the profession. Yes, we cannot argue. We cannot say less than that. That is so insightful. And as a chartered accountant, I have come to see a view that there's a difference between an applied accountant and a traditional accountant. Once again, really appreciate you for your session. And we'll be moving on to the next speaker for the event. So our next speaker is a seasoned professional. I will not, without more, we're moving on to the next speaker for the event. Ladies and gentlemen, behold, Mr. Daniel Sado, who will be taking us with the next session, entry and progression in the Big Four. So he's going to tell us about tips on how to enter the Big Four, the life in the Big Four, and progression strategy and mentorship. Before I bring him to the podium, I would like to share with you the bio of Mr. Daniel Sado, who is a global audit and financial reporting expert. He's a Big Four strategist and cross-border compliance specialist. Daniel Sado is a result-driven finance professional with a unique blend of technical expertise and international perspective. Cultivated through 6 years of progressive experience across 3 countries with leading Big Four firms. Holding a BSc in economics and currently completing his ACCA certification, Daniel has developed a formidable specialization in navigating complex financial landscape for multinational corporations. Currently, he's serving as an experienced senior associate at KPMG's Global Statutory Audit Center of Excellence in Budapest. Daniel leads high-stakes audit engagements for cross-border clients, ensuring seamless compliance with IFRS, GAAP, and local statutory requirements. His expertise spans financial statement consolidation, due diligence, and internal control optimization. And all these skills have been honed through previous roles at KPMG Nigeria and BDO International, where he managed end-to-end audits for clients across energy, fintech, and manufacturing sector. He's adept at transforming data into strategic insights. Daniel leverages Power BI, Excel, and SAP to streamline audit processes and enhance financial reporting accuracy. Beyond technical proficiency, Daniel thrives in multicultural environments, having successfully bridged European and African financial reporting standards for clients expanding across continents. His approach combines rigorous attention to detail with a big picture strategic thinking, whether assessing risk frameworks for a Hungarian manufacturing giant or advising a Nigerian fintech startup on IFRS implementation. When he's not immersed in financial statements, he channels his analytical mindset into mentoring junior auditors and exploring emerging technologies in financial analytics. His career trajectory reflects a professional who doesn't just adapt to the evolving accounting landscape, but actively shapes its future. Therefore, true financial clarity comes from understanding both the numbers and the narratives behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure and honor I welcome to the podium Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel, you're welcome. You have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, whatsoever the time is. Can you hear me or can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you, sir.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sunday. Well, I'll just go straight to the point since we've actually spent so much time, right? And I think I like the citation. It's a page citation. It's it's very exciting, right? So once again, I would like to thank, I call him Presido, so it's fine. But officially, I would like to thank Dr. President for this opportunity to speak to people. It's one great opportunity, to be fair. So thank you very much for this opportunity, President. All right. Can I take over the screen or you help me from your parts? Which of them works?
Yes, you can, sir.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay. Do let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Not yet.
Yes, we can see, sir.
All right. Thank you. So, well, I would be running through this very quickly, and basically, I have the opportunity or the honors to actually speak to entry and progression in the Big Four. So, I've actually outlined this into three parts: the Big Four entry strategy, live at the Big Four, progression strategy, and mentorship and the Big Four, right? I once actually had a background to talk about, but during your citation, you spoke about most of them. So I think it's fine if I just skip this. But one thing I would say in my journey in the Big Four is how far I've actually been able to transition, right, from different accounting standards, understanding your FRS and the rest, to moving on to PCAOB compliance audits. For me, these periods were kind of tough, but at the same time, were excellent period because now you put me in a room of people where I could actually speak to all these factors, right? So, well, I would say my journey in audit actually, Nigeria parlance, people would say Miss Road journey. So I initially actually wanted to become like an investment banker, which I still have plans to do, but sometimes in the future. But so my journey actually started with BDO. I actually started out as a trainee in BDO, then moved up to an associate. Then, fortunately, I was fortunate to leave BDO, go to KPMG Nigeria, started as an experienced associate, moved to more like a senior, or basically, as they'll call it, semi-senior in KPMG, right? And then over time, afterwards, I moved to KPMG Hungary, and then I actually worked with quite a number of people in KPMG Hungary as a senior associate. And over time, also, I was actually promoted, I think, closely after a year, right? Promoted to an experienced associate, rather. So, what happened in this period? So, in this period, I was actually able to own my skills. Aside the technical part of it, I was able to get basic understanding of teamwork, I was also able to try as much as possible to get like what they call it now. Um, I was able to understand big clients, like gain various or large understanding of clients. Like, so presently I'm in KPMG Hungary, but my units is actually the global statutory. So what happens in my units is it's very funny, but we actually work with almost all the KPMG firms, member firms across board, Netherlands, Mexico, as far as you can mention, even India, as much as you would even mention China, right? So we actually work with China and the rest of them, all of them. So, and in doing this, you need to be aware of that country's local gap. So it allows me to read extensively, right? So if I'm handling a subject matter, I train to read extensively, right? So that's enough of me. So let's talk about the entry into the big four. Like, on my screen here, you can see the big four is actually separated into four of them: the PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, and EY, right? So landing a job in the big four is something that would actually challenge you. It's something that is very, very, very challenging. But then there are various methods to actually get into the big four. And one of them is the basics, right? So, but it is not limited to the basics. Please, if you can still hear me, just maybe a reaction is fine. You can drop a reaction if you can still hear me. All right, thank you. Okay, so one of the things you actually would experience or you would need as an entry point into the big four is actually a strong foundation, like a strong academic foundation and professional foundation. And thanks to President, he already spoke about this. He spoke about the certifications, and also he spoke about what you need to be doing as an accountant or generally as an auditor, right? So, sorry, give me a minute. Okay, so what you need to be doing as an accountant or generally as an auditor, first and foremost, you need the certification. Now, it is not to say that without the certification, you're not going to get entry into the big four. That's actually like a big lie, right? So, but you need the certification. Reasons is it keeps you a step further, right? So. Build like a strong foundation of getting the certification. And then for people that are still in school, I don't know the nature of my audience, but for people that are still in school, strive to at least get something tangible out of school in terms of like your class of degree. Try as much as possible to get something tangible. This actually puts you at the point of entry when you're actually applying for the big four, right? So I used to know that KPMG Nigeria did this thing where I don't know if they still do it, but then they had pegged entrance into the big four at a 2-1, I think so. So I don't know if they still do that, but with a 2-1, yes, you can come into the big four. With a 2-2, it's a good thing, which actually is in my next slide. We'll talk about that in my next slide. So, what are the next thing? Be strategic with your application. So when you're applying, try as much as possible to tailor your cover letter and your CV for each firm that you are applying. Put in your strengths, put in your best foot forward, right? So you're putting in, okay, this is what I know. Audits that they do in the big four, there are various a plethora of things that you can actually experience or have in the big four. Aside audits, we have normal financial accounting, we have payroll service, we have HROs, We have valuation experts. We have like top guys around that part, right? So there are a lot of things that you can actually station into doing, right? So it's not particular to what's the word now? It is actually not particular that you must be an auditor before you go to the big four. You can come in as an accountant, you can come in as an HR person, you can come in as a valuation specialist, and the rest of them. So these are opened opportunities in the big four, right? So the next thing I will talk about is develop relevant skills. I'll leave that to presidency. I already spoke about this. And then let me go back to my previous slide. Be strategic with your application. So I think someone is going to speak about this later on in the call. So I don't want to spend so much time here. Then let's speak to develop relevant skills. You develop relevant skills, just as you have said, your communication, data analysis, how well are you good with Python, basically Power BI and the rest of them. Um, Something I found amazing when I moved to Hungary was basically I was the one using SAP, right? So previously in Nigeria, I was just more of the so, and then I started using SAP. So I had to go for like further training to actually learn on the usage of SAP because extraction of data, the clients just left everything to us. These are top guys. You can't really be telling them this is what you should do. No, no, they just tell you, okay, we'll give you the access, we'll give you the password. This is how you get the documents, or this is how you get anything you require, and then that's it, right? So if you don't know how to navigate around SAP, or if you don't know how to use SAP, it might be like a big problem for you. Then the next thing is gain practical experience. So it leads us back to the previous thing we actually mentioned, or the other thing we spoke about, which is build a strong foundation. So most times, if you've actually experienced difficulties coming in because you came out with maybe like a third class or a pass or something like that, and when applying for a graduate trainee role and stuff, you don't get things like that. So what is the best way to do this? Right, there are various type of boutique firms that you could actually be engaged in, right? And then when you're engaged there, you build capacity, right? So you build capacity in learning, right? You learn a lot of things that you become what's that word now, where people can actually deny and they can attest that this person is good, it's just good, right? So what you need then is just give this person an interview and you're able to blow up everybody that is on the panel, right? So that's it for practical experience. So the reason why I'm saying this is because some people tend to stay on this path and just keep applying to big four, get reject mails and reject mails. Most times you can just give yourself 2 to 3 years, right? So I don't know what the uncles, but you can give yourself 2 to 3 years. Oh, I'm a graduate of accounting or probably economics, banking and finance, whatever you graduated with, and you find a very good firm or good audit firm that you're able to learn in, right? So I would advise to give yourself 2 to 3 years, learn properly so that at the long run your certification is no longer the issue, right? So it's no longer, oh, this person came out with like a 2-1, or this person is qualified, or this person is not experienced, that people are now willing to pay you for, right? So that's it. Then another thing is consistent performance and growth, like president actually said earlier, I don't need to do so much into this, but consistent performance and growth, keep growing. Don't stop at, okay, I'm chartered now, so I'm fine, I'm okay, I don't need so much again. No, you're chartered, yes, there are other things you need. One of the things that actually got me into audits was, I don't know if President remembers this person, but I think it's one of our mutual friend, right? So, and when we were learning accounting, the basic thing that we learned, as basic as it is double entry principle, right? And it's funny because you would be surprised. There are so many accountants, just as President has said, there are so many accountants that don't know this double entry principle. And I think, to be honest, I would say that has actually been my own power, right? Because there is nothing you bring to me and I don't know, okay, this is where the debit should be, this is where the sort of thing I'm always able to give be in the credit and why they should be in the debit. It's your performance. It's actually going to, or when the client had this issue, what did you tell them, or how did you tell them to post this entry? Or for example, let's say, for example, if a client is doing improvement on PP, right? So would you tell them to expense? What if the client has started expensing the improvement? So all those things are factors that you actually consider, right? So consistent performance and growth, demonstrate reliability, attention to details, and then leadership potentials, even as to the smallest of persons. If you're coming in as an associate or probably a senior associate or even a manager or the smallest internship position, develop this leadership capacity, right? So people can actually trust you to lead a team, right? So life at the Big Four. That's the next one outline. So what are the benefits or what are the intricacies in the Big Four? What does the Big Four entail and all? So world class learning and exposure. Sincerely, you're going to learn a lot, a lot. Like I think we have a platform, GLMS, that's internal. There are a lot of trainings, a lot of trainings that you could pick on. So if you're struggling with a particular area, you could just go there, pick up a training, and it's there. Even not related to audits, even if it's soft skills, you get all those kind of trainings, right? So you get this world-class learning and then exposure, and also you get to build a strong professional network, right? So you build strong professional network with friends, with people. If at some time you build networks that I don't want to say this, but I know we're talking about Big Four, but you build networks that actually transition beyond the Big Four, right? So you're actually in the Big Four, and just should in case your career plan is not to become a partner, your network, right, can actually lead you to your next position. Your network within the firm can actually lead you to your next um, position, right? So, and yes, also the Big Four is actually fast paced and high pressured, right? So you work on tight deadline, juggle multiple clients, and constantly push your limits, right? So I can count the number of times I've I've actually slept in the office, right? And even today, I was actually supposed to sleep in the office, but I think my wife has actually been shouting and saying, no, no, you can't do that. So because funny, I have a reporting deadline for tomorrow, of which I told President. So it is high pressure. You really need to try to catch up, meet up. It's going to be a lot of things. You're going to be juggling clients. You're going to be doing a lot of stuffs, right? So you need to be aware of that. That okay, this is what you're coming into, and you're actually up to the task, right? Then steep learning curve. there is actually steep learning curve and steeper growth, rapid promotion. Most likely you get promoted. I think from an associate level to more like a senior or manager level. No, from an associate level to a manager level, you get promoted every year, right? So, and if you're going to be promoted every year, you know it comes with so much sacrifices, right? And let's move on to the next outline: progression strategy and mentorship. This happens to be relative based on individual firms. There are different progression strategy in different firms, but generally, I just put in like a summarized part to it of what to expect, right? So for a trainee, no experience is required. You basically don't require any experience to become a trainee. You don't require any audit experience or whatsoever experience. All you need to is probably have a good and tailored CV for this particular role, right? And then for a junior associate, yeah, you need between 1 to 3 years of experience for you to actually be a junior associate. And then a senior associate, you need 3 to 5 years of experience. And then there is also the assistant manager. I didn't actually include the roles because as you grow higher, they would expect more from you, right? So for a trainee, you have limited expectations, but in as much as you actually giving your best and do the work that is required of you, there are not so much of expectations. But for a junior associates, they are beginning to trust you with, okay, can this person undo like a work paper from start to finish? Can this person be able to clients confidently and stuff like that? So they believe in your confidence at this point in time. Then you also look at the senior associate. By this time, you'll be the in charge, right? So in most firms, the senior associate and assistant manager, they are used intertwined, right? So for example, I can speak to Netherlands. In Netherlands, you just have a senior associate and then manager. There's nothing like an assistant manager. So you just do that's KPMG Netherlands, if I may correct that. So you just do like your senior associate role, which you spend like probably 3 years in, right? And then the next thing you're going into is a managerial role. So for senior associate roles, you're leading the engagements, all misstatements are being discussed with the clients and you're spearheading it. To be honest, you're spearheading the engagements in terms of project management, sim management, and what have you. You're actually handling all of that. I think I don't know, the call is too quiet. I don't know if anyone can you just notify me if you can still hear me.
Yes, you can see you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right. So, and then you also move to the manager level. The manager level is between 6 to 8 years. All of these are not just because I put in these years doesn't mean that you must go through this number of years. So there are outliers to this. If you're a good or excellent performer, you can actually speed on this, and then in time you actually arrive at maybe a senior mass, right? So, and then the next one is the manager, senior manager, associate directors, and partners. Those are like the big boys, or let me say the senior manager, from the senior manager down to the associate directors. Those are like the big boys. Those are the people that actually manage the engagements. They manage client expectation just to be sure, and then they do proper review, because one thing is their signature would actually go into the financial statement. So if I'm giving an opinion, it is either my partner, director, or senior manager that is putting a signature there on the opinion, right? So they have a lot at stake for them. So through the manager, they try to monitor other staff members to make sure that everything that they've done is actually accurate, right? And then, oh, sorry, I moved so quick. So yeah, for mentorship, so generally, I believe this is the case across board for all the four big fours. Structured mentorship program run across board for all the big fours. There is personalized career guidance. Um, Mentors provide tailored advice on developing technical skills, improving soft skills, and the rest of them. So, yeah, you might have like your performance manager, or probably, how do they call it in industry now, line manager. You might have someone that you are accountable to, and the person would actually give you guidance on what you think okay it is, what you think is happening, and what they think you need improvement on. So this you would see in the big four. Support during high pressured moments. So usually when you need someone to talk to during high pressured moments, because there are moments that are very, very, very pressure, um, you might also talk to your mentor as assigned by the firm. Or I think basically you might not necessarily, they might not necessarily assign you a mentor, but you'll be picking one for yourself. So either ways, you still get to be mentored, right? So I put in summary, mentorship at the Big Four isn't just a checkbox. It is a driver of personal and professional growth that helps you thrive, not just survive in a demanding environment. So the mentorship program in every Big Four is to actually help you thrive in that firm, right? So one thing before I go to the conclusion is, um, so most times I see people always want to actually go to the big four. It's nice and all, but also there are mid-tier firms that people can actually consider. I think one of the fast rising, especially in Nigeria, is Fovis Maza. I think BDO also does well for themselves, and also we have Crow, we have RSM. So as much as you can have what's it called, experiences in those firms, you can eventually bring them to the big four, right? It is not compulsory you start out as a junior or trainee associate. You can come in at any time into the big four, right? So you can come in as a manager, you can come in as a senior manager. The thing is, be consistent with your growth and try to define your objective. Okay, where do I want to be? Do I really want to? Uh, there are some people, okay, like I know a colleague, not a colleague, but like an acquaintance, a lady, and she's like, you know what, the big four is pressured. I can't do the big four and all and all. And she moved from, I think, Mazars, right? She moved from Mazars, Nigeria, and then she went to Mazars, Netherlands, right? And then she's doing just fine, right? So the big four also comes with this pressure, but also you can tend to manage it. And I believe at manager level, either in a mid-tier firm or big four, there is nothing you've not seen. So I don't think that you should be scared of anything in terms of work pressure. One of the basic things is just proper time allocation. Then, in conclusion, I just did like an analysis. Success in the big four isn't just about getting in, it's about growing, adapting, and staying hungry to learn in every step of the way. Right. So at each time, or at each point in time, I wish this was cyclical, but at each point in time, you must always ask yourself, all of these questions because you don't want to experience burnouts in the big four. So you must always ask yourself, what next, where, when, why, how, and who, right? So you must, okay, by the who, let me just speak to the who. By the who, it depends on your network or the network you've actually created, right? So who means, oh, if I'm going to progress in my career, for example, I want to stay and become maybe like a partner. Okay, who and who do I need to leverage with, right? Not like leverage on, leverage with, so that I can actually be able to achieve my career objective, right? I think I've taken so much time. How many minutes do I have left? I just wanted to speak to one more thing. Moderator.
Yeah, you can go on, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. So, yeah, let's speak to the strong professional network. So, one thing is, especially for the experienced IROs, right? Just because we're speaking of who, especially for the experienced IROs, you need more referrals. I basically don't think, I don't know, but I basically don't think they put it out there, so out there like the graduate training roles that, oh, we are recruiting maybe like an experienced associate or something like that. So most times what they do in this case is to give employee referral program where the employee within the firm refers. So as much as you can, if you're not working in the big four now and you want to work with them, as much as you can actually get in touch with people that work in the big four. You send them messages, oh, please, I don't know if you can actually refer me. And it leads me back to what I said earlier. Your experience much actually match the role you're actually applying to. So, for example, if I'm going for an audit role, I should have like a good number of experience in audits before I can say, okay, I want to go for an audit role, right? So instead of waiting and hoping that, okay, what day would the big four call me, maybe the trainee, and then I think there's this age restriction thing that they put for them. So what they, instead of thinking what day would they call me, what day would I join this firm and all, why not just start small, start from maybe Rashida and Co. From there you're going to maybe like the mid-sized firm, and then you're going to, it's one thing because growth is actually painful, right? So most times you might see your colleagues that you guys left school together, and then they were swifts. They got a graduate training, and everybody runs on their own calendar. But the main thing is, am I achieving my overall goal? Is this something I look forward to achieving, right? And lastly, I think the Big Four is a good place to be, right? And it's an exciting place. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. This was really, really, really insightful. I've been taking notes all along, and one of the key points that you raised here is be consistent with your growth. I also got another keynote, staying hungry to learn in every step of the way. I must confess, this is really, really insightful. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, without wasting much time, the time is fast spent. We'll be moving to the next speaker. Next speaker, I like to call him the king of consolidated accounts. Yes. So I'll be introducing Mr. Mike. Yes. So the next speaker is going to speak on job application. So the first speaker and the second speaker have told us intrinsic points in the slide that is shared with us, but there's also another important aspect as it concerns us as accountants, and which is job application, networking, and personal positioning. The last speaker said something about networking, and I believe that the next speaker will buttress more to drive home the point. So he's going to speak on how to stand out in job applications, power of personal branding, strategic network, and job positioning, and also to build confidence and unlock your potential. Permit me to give you a brief summary of Mr. Michael, who is a chartered accountant, a certified financial modeling and valuation analyst, FMVA. He's a certified data analyst with credentials from globally recognized Corporate Finance Institute in Vancouver, Canada, with over 5 years of hands-on experience in finance, accounting, and data analytics. He has built strong reputation for demystifying complex financial concepts and helping professionals thrive in a rapidly changing business landscape. He currently serves in the finance team as Utiva, a UK accredited ed tech company renowned for raising global tech talent. Beyond this professional role, Michael is a director of studies at Accountant Pathfinders Tuition House, where he coaches and mentors aspiring accountants, equipping them not only to pass their professional exams, but also to understand, apply, and communicate financial insights with clarity and confidence. He's also an IFRS coach and Power BI expert who is passionate about simplifying accounting standards and helping professionals tell powerful financial stories using tools like Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Michael believes that technical competence, when combined with storytelling and integrity, open doors beyond borders. He's not just a number cruncher, he's a bridge builder, helping young professionals find clarity in their career paths, develop their voice, and own their place in the future of accounting. So after the symposium, we'll be sharing his LinkedIn link so that you can connect with him, because this is part of networking. Ladies and gentlemen, with so much joy in my heart, I'm going to present to you Mr. Michael Oluwalere. You have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, our host of this symposium. And I'll use this medium to thank the management team of Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting for organizing a symposium like this to help, professionals in the finance space. So yes, also I would give kudos to my the speakers that actually spoke before me. So they've done justice to the topic that was actually given to them. So, and I believe we have all been getting value from this. So I'll need response from us in the chat, because for me, I always like a very, very interactive environment. And so if you've been getting value from here, can you just put in the chat box and tell me yes? Yes. Have you gotten any value from this, or nothing has changed ever since you joined? Okay, I can see Toyosi Abayomi. Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay, he's trying to be honest. Oh, yes, I can see praise. All right. That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. So yes, okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now. Also, I believe I'm allowed to do so.
Yes, sir, you have. Yes, sir, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, I believe everybody can see my screen, right? I need your feedback. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you so much. So yes, as our host has said, my name is Michael Oluwalere, and I'll be talking about job application, networking, and personal positioning, which is one of the key aspects of this symposium. So yes, so I'll just be talking about 4 different things and which are highlighted here, how to stand out in your job applications. So as a person, I've actually worked in different industries, and I would shed more light when we start the symposium proper, or when I start going through my presentation slide. So we also talk about personal branding, the power of personal branding. Then we talk about strategic networking and positioning. Then building confidence is also some of the things we'll talk about. So let's just dive in straight. Let's dive in straight to why we are here. So let's quickly talk about my journeys. Let's talk about my journey and why this actually matter. So yes, my journey is my inspiration, and even though I'm not where I want to be, but at least I know that in the finance space I've achieved quite a lot, but definitely I'm not satisfied yet. I want to achieve more. So yes, so I started my career like many other young people. Maybe you are there, you're an undergraduate studying accounting, or you are an ICANN or ACCA scholar and getting ready to be qualified, or peradventure you are qualified and you are just starting out. So yes, this is me as the time I actually completed my AAT, and I think this picture I actually took it when I got my first job as an accountant for record. So yes, and I've actually worked in different industries. I've worked in the manufacturing, I've worked in tech, I've worked in consulting, I've worked with financial services. So presently, I work currently in the tech space. So yes, and I've also been with Accountant Pathfinder over the years. Okay, let me just say, I'm one of the pioneer members of Accountant Pathfinder, and yes, and I'm so glad that the Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting has actually created a platform for us to actually learn and grow. All right, so the picture you're seeing down below is actually a picture I took recently. Maybe some people might be saying, okay, these 2 people, are they the same person? So yes, so this was like 6 years ago. The first one was like 6 years ago, and the one below is just, I think this second picture was took maybe a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks or thereabout. So yes, over the years, I've not just been applying for jobs, even though I've worked in different industries. Yes, I've worked in different industries. And on the other side, I've sat on recruitment panels. I've been involved in screening CVs, interviewing candidates, and I've also been involved in making a decision as to who an organization should hire. So yes, I've actually seen a lot of people applying. I mean, smart people applying for jobs. You understand? But these so-called smart people, they miss out just because of some things that they are not aware of. And that's why we're having a webinar like this. We're having this platform for us to all learn. So yes, there are some simple things that we all need to know to be able to package ourselves and to be able to position ourselves so that the recruiters can get us considered for the job. So yes, so your technical skill is not enough. Your technical skill is not enough. So you need to have something different that is not common. Okay, before we proceed, I would just want to say this. When I finished my data analysis learning, I actually learned with Corporate Finance Institute, and that was, I think, a year after the pandemic, I think 2021 or 2022, early 2022 or thereabouts. So I got a call from a company and they said, oh, I was recommended to actually function as a data analyst, and they have 10 people, and I was the only data analyst in the team. So the institute created, sent them CVs or contact of developers and some other tech experts or tech, don't let me say experts, because as at then, we just finished learning. So as at then, we're just trying to learn and, grow. So I was surprised on the team, even though there were so many data analysts, but I was surprised that I was the only data analyst that was recommended. And I was like, what really happened? So, but what I've discovered is because I was able to position myself, and this is actually one of the things that we actually need to know. So we'll be talking about how you can write your CV that gets read. So the first thing I would like to let you know is that when you apply for jobs, just know that other people are applying for that same job. So exactly, other people are applying for that same job. And at times, for those of us that have been involved in recruitment, at times you can have like 100 CVs to scan through. And in short, if I spend 1 minute each reviewing all the CV, I will end up spending 100 minutes. And 100 minutes is over an hour, close to 2 hours. So, but why should I do that? Why should I just waste that kind of time? So recruiters, they don't waste time to check through. So you only have 1 minute to impress the recruiter. Okay, 1 minute is even too much. So in my slide, you can see 6 to 10 seconds. Yes, you only have 6 to 10 seconds to make an impression of whether you are going to get a job or whether you're not going to get the job. So you need to take note of this. I always recommend that your CV should have 1 page. If possible, your CV, make it just 1 page. Just 1 page, so that immediately the interviewer gets to see it, he sees everything at a glance. But you need to be very careful so that you don't use small font size. So use the sizes that will make the interviewers to be able to read properly. So exactly. So, but if your portfolio is big or is vast, you may want to use more than 1 page. But you need to be very, very careful so that you don't overload your CV with so many things that are not relevant. So yes. So while writing your CV, you need to stop wasting time or wasting space with generative objective like my professional objective is to continue to organize to organizational goals and start talking stories. You can start with a summary of who you are and what you are going to bring to the table. You need to use action words and quantifiable results. For example, reduce receivables by 20% in 6 months. Improve profitability by 10% in 3 months. Increase revenue by 25% in 5 months. So these are the things that the recruiters are looking for. Now you need to know this. Recruiters actually like numbers. Yes. And you need to express yourself by bringing in these numbers. So yes. Another thing is you need to tailor your CV for the role. A one-size-fits-all CV is a red flag. Now, if you are the type of person that you have only one CV, so you have a job, okay, the role of a financial analyst, is the same CV you send for a job of a tax analyst, or is the same thing you send for the job of an audit associate. So these are different roles and requires different skills, even though they are still under the same accounting umbrella, but they require different skills. And you should be able to tailor your CV for each role you are applying for. You shouldn't use the same CV for all the jobs you're applying for. So thank God we now have the artificial intelligence tool that has also been very, very supportive and helpful to be able to achieve this. So you need to structure it clearly by using the right font style and also formatting. As you can see, the font style I'm using for this presentation is something that everybody can flow with and read. Is clear enough. So make sure you use the font style that oh, sorry, I wanted to say examiner. Okay, I think that's too much of icon lecture. So yes, that the recruiters will be looking out for. So make sure you structure your CV in a way that it is clear by using the right font style and also use the right formatting. Know when to use the bold, the italic, the right formatting of your CV. Now, you need to remember that the goal of the CV is not to get you the job. Now, there are some CVs that have been accepted. Your CV being accepted does not mean that you've gotten the job. That CV is meant to get you into the interview room. So that's the first phase of the recruitment process. The first phase of the recruitment process is to ensure that your CV looks good and you're able to get into that interview room. So definitely, what comes next is after you've submitted your CV and the recruiter is impressed with your CV, then they call you for the job. Now, after they must have called you for the job, you also need to impress them by asking their questions and making them feel like you are the right person for the job. So yes. So I'm going to give you some examples of how you can write your CV to be able to get that job. Now, you can write something like, I'm a chartered accountant with 4+ years experience in FMCG and financial services. I have proven track record in driving process automation and improving receivables turnaround time by 25%. So this is very, very important. This has actually told the recruiter that you have more than 4 years experience. So let's say they are looking for someone that has minimum of 3 years. So which means that the recruiter seeing this number on your CV would have actually been drawn to what he or she is saying. So exactly. So make sure you put the numbers in your CV. Is very, very important. Now, don't say responsible for monthly reports. That looks too generic. So you can write something like, I prepared an automated monthly management report, cutting reports turnaround time by 40%. So this is also mentioning or giving a figure to the line item, talking about you preparing the monthly report as and when due. So So that's that. So you need to take note of this. You need to take note of this. Now we'll be looking at the smart cover letters and application tips. Now your cover letter should also be tailored to the job you're applying for. Yes, it should also be tailored to the job you are applying for and should not be generic. So most cover letters are very, very repetitive. They follow a particular template, and in most cases, they are ignored. They are ignored in most cases. So for you to get your cover letter to be appealing, you need to open with a personal hook. And you need to let the recruiter see the reason why are you interested in this company? Why are you interested in this particular role? So you don't have to be desperate. You don't have to look desperate, but you have to justify the reason why you are the perfect fit for this job. You need to talk about your key wins from your past roles that relate to the job. It's very, very important. These are some of the things you should include in your cover letter. These are some of the things you need to include in your cover letter. Yes, introducing statement of value is also very, very important. And your statement of value is going to tell us, okay, this is what I can bring to the table based on the knowledge I have about this organization. These are the skills I've gotten in the past. And in similar role, I've been able to help companies achieve this and that. So you should be able to emphasize on what you can achieve for the organization. So yes, so that is very, very important. So don't focus on the certification you have. Your certificate is also very, very important, but your skill is much more important. So yes. So as I've said, I said don't be desperate, but apply with intentionality. Apply and let the recruiter know that you've taken your time to get information about the company. So for no reason should you be going for an interview and you don't even know anything about the company. So you should check the company online, check their website, get yourself familiarized with what the company does, so that by the time you get in there, you already have an idea of what the company does. And this is what you are applying with intentionality. You are applying with intentionality. It is very, very important. So now, one of the key things about intentionality is that it helps the recruiter is looking at, okay, oh, this guy already knows about us. Oh, so that means that the onboarding process will be quite seamless, because it's not like he does not know anything and we'll just have to walk him through everything. But now I can see that he's even conversant with some of the things we do, and it should be a good fit. So you're already telling your recruiter that you have that inquisitiveness and you are ready to learn about the company. So yes, so exactly. So now these are more examples. These are more examples that you can include in your cover letter. Like when I read that your firm is focused on digital finance transformation, it reminded me of a recent project where I helped automate vendor payments workflows, cutting manual input by over 50%. What do you notice? There is a figure attached. Figures are very, very important. In your cover letter, in your CVs, make sure you mention those figures. So in my current role, I led a team to reconcile over 18 months of backlog vendor accounts, saving a company over 12 million in penalties. I believe this hands-on experience is aligned with the credit control challenges your team is tackling. So now, based on this information, these examples I'm giving to you is for you to get yourself familiarized on how to give the right pitch to your examiner, because you're pitching yourself to I've just said examiner again, to the recruiter. So yes, to the recruiter, you're pitching yourself to the recruiter and you're letting the recruiter know that you are the right candidate Oh, some people say that they can't see my screen. We have been seeing one screen for a long time. Wow. So is this general? Please, I need your feedback.
Yes, yes,
Is
the
it
general.
general?
I actually thought you was only
General?
yes.
Wow. Oh, sorry about that. I'm really, really sorry. Oh, wow. How come you guys didn't talk on time now? Really sorry about that. Wow. So let me just stop sharing and I'll share again. Okay, maybe I'll just share my entire screen. Let's. Okay, wow. So that means you guys have not been seeing my screen, so wow. Maybe let me go back so that you can see all those things I talked about in the past. I really want you guys to add colors to the pictures. Okay, so yes, so when I was talking about my journey, I mentioned the fact that this is my picture when I just, completed my AAT then, and this is my picture as at 2 weeks ago. So yes. I was thinking you were going to call my attention to this. I'm really sorry about the fact that you guys were not seeing my screen. All right. So these are the examples I've actually given about writing your CVs. So yes.
Sorry, sir. Please, have you started sharing your screen?
Yes, can you see my screen now? Please let me know in the chat from the participants. Can you see my screen?
Over here.
Sorry?
Okay,
Oh,
I
so are
can
you
see
trying?
the screen now.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry about that again. Okay, so okay. All right. So the next thing we'll be talking about is networking. So we've talked about okay, before we go into networking, so this is I've talked about writing your cover letter using an application tips is very, very important. And another thing that you can use to one of the key points or key things I would emphasize on is tailoring your CV to different roles. Yes, so tailoring your CV to different roles. So, like you have a job offer in the bank, you tailor your CV so that it can align with the banking sector. So now accountants can actually work in any organization because can anybody mention an organization that does not need an accountant? In the chat, is there any organization that exists that does not need the service of an accountant? Anybody? I'm waiting. Is there anyone? I need your response in the chat. Okay, yes. Teosi, so which organization do we have that does not need the service of an accountant? Okay, you said the National Assembly. The National Assembly. Okay, National Assembly are actually government parastatals. But even the governments, we have the public sector accounting, and they give reports of what's happening in the government on how money is being spent. So accounting is very, very important. And the good news you have as a finance professional is that, okay, that's why they can pad anything. Okay, so I can see where you're coming from. But to be honest, every organization actually need accountant, and there is no organization that can survive without an accountant. So yes, Mr. Luwafemi, you said, I don't think so. Even God keeps accounts. Yes, and you know, believers, I mean Christians also believe that there is a world after here on earth, and each and every one of us are going to give accounts to the Creator. So yes, God keeps accounts. So yes, so accounting is very, very important. It's very, very important for all organizations. It's very, very important for all organizations. So whichever organization you are working for, you need to, or which organization you are applying the jobs for jobs, you need to tailor your CV to that organization. So my previous speakers, they've shared with us, you know, Mr. Daniel is from one of the big four, and based on what he has shared with us, he has been working in the audit space for some time now. So yes, so you can choose that career path. Oh, I want to be an auditor. I want to work for audit firms and all that. I want to work for KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, PwC, BDO, and the likes. So yes, you can also say, oh, me, I want to work for oil companies. I want to work for Chevron. I want to work for Shell. You know, you are choosing your career path. So like for me personally, I've actually transitioned from one industry to the other. So yes, I've worked in the export consulting firm. I've worked in the financial service firm. I've worked in manufacturing organization. And presently I'm working in a tech firm. Yes. So, and definitely I didn't just sleep and find myself in these roles. I had to apply with my CV. So yes, and by the time I applied, I was able to tailor my CV for that role. So the time I was applying for the tech role, for the tech firm, I've never worked in a tech environment before, but the hiring manager was impressed and feel like, oh, I should be able to handle the job based on what is reported on my CV. So I was able to tailor the role and convince the hiring manager that I can handle these jobs. Yes. So exactly. So you should be able to tailor your CV. So if you are the kind of person that you've always been using one CV, you only have one CV ever since you have started applying for jobs, it's only one CV you have been using. Please know this, that you are not doing the right thing. You need to have different CV for different jobs. So exactly, you need to have different CV for different jobs. So yes, so let's really look at the smart networking tactics. Smart networking tactics is what we are looking at now. So networking is another part, and someone like me, I actually love networking, and networking has been part of me. If I find myself in a new environment, I try to network with everybody. So network is not about begging. It's not say, oh, please, I know you are in one of the multinational firms, and I want to network with you because I need a job. So you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that because of the benefits you want to get from somebody and you are begging. So it's about genuine relationship. So networking requires sacrifice. Networking requires sacrifice. You shouldn't be a parasite. Yes, you shouldn't be a parasite. Parasite always gets in. They don't give. So I don't know, those that study biology, there's a relationship that exists whereby both parties benefit. And that's what I'm trying to use now, and it's not coming. I don't know if somebody can just help me in the chat. So it shouldn't be parasitic. Networking should not be parasitic. I'm waiting for your response. I don't know if we have a biology scholar in the house. So yes, networking should be, it has to be built on a mutual relationship where both parties can benefit. Where, yes, symbiotic relationship. Thank you so much. So networking should be a symbiotic relationship. Yes. So now, what really works in networking is, number one, you need to be very, very visible. You need to share insights, comment on others' posts, and ask thoughtful questions. So we have the social media platform that makes networking much more easier. So we have LinkedIn as a professional social media network that can help you to actually interact and network with other professionals. You can send out posts, you can send out published content on the social media on a regular basis, whereby people get to learn one or two things from you. And you should also ask thoughtful questions. Yes, comment on other people's posts. Yes. And another thing is give value first. I've talked about the fact that networking should not be parasitic. It should be symbiotic. It should be symbiotic. You need to give value to people. When you give value to people, the value comes back to you. Recommend a book to people, share a job lead, congratulate someone genuinely, follow up if someone needs help, don't disappear, stay in touch. Yes, you have a colleague that needs your help. Just like one of our speakers spoke, he was sitting by and somebody was just wasting her time typing Excel formulas that she can just copy and paste. And he was watching, he said he was watching, and you know, he was able to build a network there and was able to help the young professional. And at the end of the day, the young professional eventually register for his class. So that's part of networking. That's part of networking. So networking can be from from the bottom to top or from top to bottom. So yes, now you can network with people that are above you. You can also network with people that are below you. One of the things our previous facilitator talked about is even God network. Like God network with Abraham and say, oh, Abraham, see, oh, I want to destroy this Sodom and Gomorrah. Or should I go ahead and destroy? So God did not say, after all, I'm the most supreme, and I have to make the decision myself. He still listened to network with people below, and be able to make a decision. So follow up. If somebody needs your help, you don't disappear. Just ensure that you stay in touch. Stay in touch. Stay in touch when somebody needs help. Now, I've actually referred people for jobs based on the fact that I connected with them on LinkedIn and I see what they are capable of. And maybe just because of what they post on LinkedIn, and there was a job offer and I needed to recommend somebody for a job. I have not spoken with the person before, but I have been seeing the person's updates on LinkedIn. I've been commenting, I've been doing this. Oh, then that person got the job through that. So yes, so you need to be consistently add value on these social media platforms or any other platform available for you to network with others. Always give value. It is very, very important. So this is myself. Okay, so I'm a kind of person that actually love networking, and okay, in today I actually network. Yes. today is Sunday. I went to church and I added a contact to my contact list in the church. So yes, and yesterday I was at World Innovators University, and this is me with Dr. President, the first host, and I was at this event at Lagos Oriental Hotel in Lekki yesterday, and organized by the World Innovators University. So this is also a platform to network. You have people, top professionals in different field, accounting, finance, and different fields, and we were able to network. So this is me also in another event. I think this event was close to 2 years now. So yes, and it's also a platform to actually network. Always maximize every opportunity to network with professionals. And one of the good things networking has done for me is there are some jobs that I actually got through referrals. Yes, myself, through referrals. So exactly. I think it is only my present job that I'm doing now that I didn't get through referrals. Every other jobs I've gotten in the past were through referrals. Yes, through referrals. Oh, somebody just needs some, they need an accountant. Oh, I think, Michael is a good fit for this job. And I just got a call, oh, please send your CV. We need your CV. Send it out. And from there, so networking is very, very important. It's very, very important. So the last, okay, I think this is the last part. Building a personal brand is also very, very important. Building a personal brand is very, very important. So as you can see, your name is a brand. Whether you like it or not, people associate with something with it. People associate something with your name, whether you like it or not. Whether positive or whether negative, people associate something with it. And now, the way you address others, the way you communicate with others, the way you comport yourself, it's how people see you. It's how people see you. Now, because of the fact that we're talking about jobs, we'll be looking at how you can build your personal brand with respect to the job. What do you want recruiters, managers, and peers to think when they hear your name? So you need to know these recruiters. The first thing if they are interested in your CV, the next thing they do is they go to your LinkedIn profile and check what's there. So your LinkedIn profile should be top notch. You need to actually personalize your profile and ensure that you make it top notch. You need to make your profile top notch. So yes, your brand is your skill plus your character and your voice online and offline. Let me say this again. Your brand equals your skills plus your character plus your voice, whether online or offline. So take note of that. You need to be very, very intentional. You need to be very, very intentional. Let your LinkedIn tell the right story about you. Let your LinkedIn tell the right story about you. Do public posts that reflect about what you do. I know a lot of us here are finance professionals. Talk about finance on your LinkedIn profile. Don't let your LinkedIn profile to be a platform whereby for months, like 5 months ago, you've not even posted anything. So try to share value. Try to share value that others can benefit from. So this is my LinkedIn profile. Yes, I actually love networking, even though I'm speaking on this topic. Yes, I love networking, and yes, I would like to network with everyone on this call. So you can just go on LinkedIn, yes, and let's try as much as possible to network with ourselves. Yes, you can say, I noticed you are part of the web symposium on PICOMA. So you can just see the names of all the participants. Try to network with yourself right here on this call and after this call, because networking is very, very important. As I've said, me personally, I've actually benefited from networking. I've actually benefited from networking. So another thing is that you need to position yourself. Don't just apply. Everyone is applying, but few are positioning themselves. You need to be part of the few that are positioning themselves rightly. So positioning means clarity. It means you know your value. It means you know your voice. It means you know your direction. Now, you need to look at yourself and say, okay, my CV, I want to apply for this job. If you're on the verge of applying for a job, and the first thing I will ask you is check your CV and check the job. Put yourself in the shoe of the recruiter. Are you going to hire yourself based on what you are saying on that your CV? Are you going to hire yourself based on what you're seeing on your LinkedIn profile? If you're not going to hire yourself, then definitely somebody else will not hire you. So you need to follow all the strategies, all the tactics that have been shared with you in this symposium and ensure that you perfect this. You need to ask yourself, what kind of role excites me, then apply for it. What value do I bring that most others don't? How am I showing that value online and in interviews? So yes, don't just be a job seeker, but be a solution provider. Apply for the jobs that you apply for the roles that you are passionate about. Don't just apply and say, oh, I want to make money. Oh, this role is 1 million naira per month. Let me just apply. Don't apply just because of the money. Apply because it's your passion. Apply because it's your passion. It's the role you have passion for. So yes, you need to take action today. You need to take your action today. You need to audit your CV, audit your LinkedIn profile. Does it reflect the value you bring? You need to also network with at least two professionals. At least two professionals. As I've said, I network with at least 3 professionals every week personally, whether in the church, whether in an event, or wherever I find myself. I try as much as possible to network on a weekly basis. So reach out to 2 professionals this week with a genuine message of interest or gratitude. Now, you need to show up online. If you are the kind of person that you are very timid and you don't communicate online, you need to stop that. Okay, I was actually like this before, that but you know, because of the fact that I think something happened that I had to stop, I had to speak out and actually position myself in a way that I can network with people, and I'm getting benefits. Yes, I'm getting benefits as a result of the networking. So you need to be consistent, and consistency build trust. Another thing is you need to write your story, practice telling it. So, and this is going to help you a lot. So in conclusion, this is where I'll be drawing the curtain. This is where I'll be drawing the curtain. I believe we've learned 1 or 2 things. There are many qualified accountants out there. The one who wins are not just qualified. They are seen, they are hard, and they are positioned. So you all need to be that person. So, all right, guys, I believe you've learned 1 or 2 things from this session. So I will admonish you all to practice what we have learned as regards positioning yourself for the job, as regards networking, as regards building your personal brand. So thank you. That will be all from me. And I'll hand over to the host.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Your closing remarks is very, very powerful. It says that there's many qualified accountants out there, but the ones who win are not just the qualified. The ones who win are not just qualified. They are seen, heard, and positioned. Wow, this is remarkable and very, very rich, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So we have come to the end of the sessions with the panelists. Now we are moving to the second to the last aspect of today's symposium, which is the panel, which is questions and answer. So I would like to invite the listeners to this part where we'll be entertaining questions from you. Is there any question you'd like us to give insight to? Is there any trouble or any contribution you want to make? The floor is open now, so you can raise your hands and we can give you the podium. Okay, we have people raising their hands. Okay, Toyosi Abayomi, you can ask a question.
Yeah, thank you. Good. Thank you so much, Manuel. Good evening, Mr. Daniel. My first question is directed to Mr. Daniel. I don't know if he's still on the call.
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Big Four. Like, so I want to ask, what is someone that is in the industry, all his life has been in the industry, for instance, in the manufacturing organization, he has been a payable accountant, he has been a tax tax accountant, then an account manager, all through his life, right? Yeah, and though before he even before he even venture into industry, he has actually applied to all these big four, but he never gets a call on, right? So, but my question now is, how can you advise such a person that wants to venture into big four? Because the truth of the matter is, my future goal is to become a financial and forensic reporter. And I believe that if I'm opportune to enter Big Four, I will be able to leverage more and then gain more in this particular field. But in the industry where I am, the opportunity is not there, right? In fact, I even try as much as possible to enter into all these multinationals, but I believe that my time will come. But for now, the opportunity is not there. So I now contact a friend of mine. He now advised me that okay, I should since that's what I really want to align. I'm a chartered accountant, but I just enrolled into this diploma in IFRS because the person advised me to write the exam so that I can be knowledgeable in what's it called, IFRS. So, but practically, I still want to enter this big four so that I can actually have a real life scenario experience. What would you advise such person? Thank you. So my second question is directed to Mr. Michael. You talked about personal branding and you also talked about networking. You know, if someone is, it's not like you don't want to be consistent, but you want to push out your personal brand outside there, but you are not really confident enough, like having that boldness to pitch out yourself. How can you advise such person in a consistent manner? Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if I should go first or is there a way you would like to share the question, moderator?
Okay. Yeah, so Mr. Toyosi, sorry. Can you please repeat the first question so that you can?
No, it's fine. I got it. All right. I got the first question. I was just wondering, maybe Michael wanted to go first, but yep. To speak to that, I really would like you to first off define your career objective, right? what is it that you want to actually achieve, right? So in joining the Big Four, right? So there are people that actually leave the Big Four and they actually end up becoming financial controllers, CFOs, and the rest of them, right? So is your career objective aimed at, I think I might actually require an answer for this so that I know how to tailor it very well. If your is your career objective aimed at becoming like an audit partner, and reason why, or the drive to the Big Four is because you want to become an audit partner? So let's start with that. Is that or like a major or global audit professional? So what's your career objective? Just few seconds, then yeah. Hi Toyosi, did you get that? Okay, I think can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I just unmuted him so he will speak.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to unmute myself, but yeah. So saying that the host have to unmute me. So yeah, my career objective is the fact that not that I really want to become an audit partner, but I want to leverage more on the practical elements when it comes to forensic and financial preparation, financial statement preparations. So most especially in preparing financial reporting for SME, and in aligning with IFRS compliance. So that's just my own career objective.
Okay, so basically I've actually seen the issue now. This is not like what they call it now. This is not a career. Okay, it's a career section, but it's not a one-on-one. But basically, I've actually seen the issue, right? So the issue is in terms of progression, and let me tell you the sincere truth. To be honest, I would say you're actually on the right path, right? So the other part to it is to actually seek a company that actually supports, or like an organization that actually supports your career progression. Give I may give you some what's it called? Let me give you some instance, right? So before actually moving to a company, you want to network with people, just as we've been saying on LinkedIn. Ask them for the career progression and all. Reasons why I'm saying this is because I've been able to interact with a lot of people, and to be honest, in those top multinationals, I'm not permitted to call names because this is being recorded, but in those top multinationals, you would notice that there is a director for accounts payable. Now, this is not someone that does, this is like a director, right? So it means that, or it only means that that person has actually grown through the rank. In fact, most times when you try to do understand the entity and you try to understand the clients and people involved in the process, right? So you get to look at their track record, and you see that at each point they were actually promoted, right? And then you see that most of them, or some of them, actually can also operate in the capacity of the financial controller. I believe you know what the financial controller purpose is. So from a financial controller, you can become a CFO, right? But if it's a must that you must actually, or you feel like, oh, I want to try audit and see this thing they are talking about, it is good. It is a welcome approach. The first step I will tell you is I don't know how so much of responsibilities you have, but you can start with a mid-sized firm. If you keep applying to the big fours and they don't get you, because the reason is they need the experience, right? So there are only peculiar situations where you would see people come in and say, okay, maybe he was an account payable analyst, and then they employed him as an experienced associate. Because I also don't know your age, if the age is on your side, right? If it's something that is on your side, great, awesome, you can keep applying. But if it's not very much on your side, you can try the mid-size firm, you can try the Anko, in as much as you get the experience. And it's just charting your parts. Learn how to chart your parts and say, okay, if I had 20 years of my age to this age, to where I am presently, let's say, for example, I just want to paint out a scenario. Sorry, I'm taking so much time. Let's say you get into audits at this particular age. Between the period you stay in your mid-sized firm to when you want to exit and go to the big four, let's say 3 years, you have 3 years experience, you get to the big four, you become like maybe an experienced associate, a semi-senior, a senior, as the case may be. Then you're calculating again between senior and manager. So at what point do you want to stop and then go back to the industry? So my point is just try and chart your career path very well, properly, and try and understand that, okay, this is where I'm at now, this is what I want to achieve, and this is how long it is going to take for me to achieve. Economics will call it opportunity cost. Just weigh your opportunity. This doesn't involve finance, it just involves a lot of things. So instead of going to the big four, can I try other organization, maybe other large multinationals that I can try, and probably start with, if you say you've been an AP analyst or AP analyst, if you've been an AP analyst and you're not seeing the progression, it's very, very good for you to actually say, okay, let me take this AP analyst, try a better company that I see that there is career progression, and then you do your AP analyst. Before you know, you're senior AP analyst, and then maybe a manager or a supervisor in AP analysis, and the rest of them. So you keep growing like that. That's just my take. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. Really appreciate your contributions. And I can see a thumbs up emoji from Toyosi. That is to say, he's satisfied with your contributions. That was very helpful. Thank you very, very much. So on to Mr. Michael. Please, you have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you, Toyosi. So for that question, okay, so you were asking about, if I get your question correctly, you mentioned the fact that probably you're someone that is kind of shy and all that. Okay, so let me just say this. Personally, I'm someone that is an introvert. Even up till now, I used to be an introvert, and I'm actually an introverted person. And while I was in school, I rarely talk in class. But anyway, if teachers, lecturers ask me questions, definitely I'll respond. But I'm just this kind of quiet, reserved guy in class. I don't make noise just on my own. So yes. But I noticed that being quiet hinders me of some privileges. There are some things that probably, because of the fact that I didn't say it, a lot of people don't know that I'm capable of doing it. And, there are opportunities that I've actually missed as a result of that, of being quiet. So even though I'm someone that's, let's say on the social media platform, people are seeing me, and there's some people that will tell me that, oh, I normally see your post on LinkedIn, I normally see your post on Facebook, and I'm getting a whole lot of value from what you send out there. People are giving me the feedback that they are seeing what's the value I'm giving out. So yes, so but what I've noticed is, if you are introverted, you should not let us stop you from the opportunity of networking. So you should try as much as possible not to be entirely quiet. don't make your social media platform to be quiet. You need to talk about what you do, because the reason is because your profile, LinkedIn profile, is very, very important to send out posts so that people see what you do and people see what you can offer. So even if you are quiet or you are shy and you are feeling like, oh, I don't know what people will say about me, as a student, I was okay, let me not talk. I don't even know whether what I will talk, they will laugh at me. When I was much a kid, I do have that reasoning. But when I started my professional career, and the first time I was in that class, I said, oh, I don't want to be that guy that will just be quiet in class and nobody will hear anything about. So the first class of my ICANN, I think I was in the 8th year. So let me just say this story to wrap up. So the lecturer asked questions, and that first class, I was like, no, I won't be the quiet guy I used to be. I want to be different here. So the lecturer asked questions, I answered the questions, and most of the questions that were asked, I actually try as much as possible to answer the ones I can answer. And before you know it, after the class, I see some guys, they'll come around, oh, they say, oh, guy, yeah, I love the way you speak. I actually, oh, can I have your contact? Can I do this? Can I do that? And they started coming towards me. I was like, wow. So this is the advantage of speaking out. When I saw that playing out, I was like, oh, so that means I've actually been missing out on this if I'm just quiet and people don't see the value I can create. People don't see the intellectual minds that I have. Do you know, the following time we are coming to class, they said, oh, at this point, I think the registrar of the institute came out and said, we want to appoint the class governor. Before you know it, everybody was pointing to me. To be honest, there was no other candidates, because the registrar wanted to actually carry out an election so that they can elect the class governor. And everybody's ends were pointing at me and said, oh, that guy is our class governor. And the registrar was even surprised. And before you know it, they made me the class governor. And I can say that all through my ICANN journey, I was the class governor from 8 years, 1, 2, 3. When I get to professional skills and profession, I was also the class governor. And that's because of the fact that I was not quiet. I was able to let people to see what I'm capable of. I'm able to let people see the value in me. So yes, there are times that you know some things, but because of the fact that you don't unleash what is in you, people don't value you. So you need to be, even though I'm very, very reserved, I still have that, that personal trait of being a quiet guy, but anytime I have the opportunity to create value, I always reach out. So please, please and please, if you are the kind of person that you're an introvert, don't be too quiet, because if you are quiet, opportunity might slide. Yes, an opportunity that is for you, you might lose that opportunity if you don't speak out. So please and please, I believe with these few points of mine, I've actually addressed your question. Thank you.
Mr. Michael, thank you very, very, very much. Just to throw a little light, in the Bible, there's a verse that says that, how can they hear except they be a preacher? So even Mr. Michael said the last word, the last sentence in his presentation, it says something about qualified accountants. It says something about those that win are not only qualified, they are seen, heard, and they are well positioned. So you have to bring yourself out. If you don't bring yourself out, nobody's going to identify you in your secret. You can be the best, but if you don't make yourself pronounced, you cannot. And in fact, the labor market is standing on perceived value. It is how you are perceived. It is the value that you are perceived to have or possess. That's the return that you can generate. So it is all on your perceived value, but you have to bring yourself out so that people can perceive you as something so that they can release value to you. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Michael. We have another hand open, and that's Oluwafemi. Please,
Yes, good evening, sirs. Yes, good evening, sirs.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I want first and foremost want to appreciate the speakers and also the organizers of this program. Thank you very much. I first and foremost want to make a request that please can we get recorded the record of this session, please, all this session, because I missed out in some sessions. So please, that is the first thing. Then my first question is actually this: as a chartered accountant or a chartered accountant to be, who has flair for tech, what are the IT certifications one should combine? That is, what are the IT certificates that one should also have being a chartered accountant to be, or as a chartered accountant who has flair for tech, that is want to work in a tech company. So what are the certifications, IT certifications that one should combine? Then the second question is this: also those who want to who are planning or who wish to leave the country, to relocate or to go and work outside the country in a finance or tech company outside the company, what are the certificates or processes to follow? These are my two questions. So I don't know who to direct it to, but in no particular order, please. These are my questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Oluwafemi. So I will invite Mr. Michael and also Mr. Daniel to probably say something on this. But let Mr. Michael say something as it relates to your question. All right, Mr. Michael, you have the podium.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, our host. All right, so yes, okay, as I've said, I'm somebody that is presently, even though I'm a chartered accountant, I'm also somebody that I've been in the tech space for a while, and I'm a data analyst. I started my data analytics journey with Corporate Finance Institute, where I actually enrolled for their financial modeling and valuation analysis training. So which actually emphasized more on financial modeling and valuation analysis. So, and after that, I think I also have the privilege to participate in their business intelligence and data analytics program. So that was the beginning of my data analytics career. You know, I was just like, okay, I'm hearing about data analysis. Okay, what is this all about? So when I started, I noticed that, okay, they walk us through Microsoft Excel, and I was like, oh, I already have knowledge of Microsoft Excel because in my previous role, I've worked with Microsoft Excel. So I pay attention to the advanced aspects. So yes, and along the line, after that, I had the opportunity to have an internship with a tech company whereby I served as a data analyst. And I was also, okay, at that point, I also have the privilege to perform a dual role because the project manager, the person that came in as a project management intern, could not continue due to a reason or the other. And because I think my colleague, they realized the fact that most of these ideas, you know, are from me. So they just feel like, okay, let this guy be our next project manager. And from there, I started learning project management because I didn't have an idea of project management actually. But I think I love the role because it's all about managing people, and project managers are CEOs of every project. So they serve as the CEO of every project. So now, in order to answer your questions, there are different tech roles. There are different tech roles, and the world is actually switching to tech. The world is switching into tech. And you shouldn't be an accountant that does not have a tech skill. If an accountant on this call and you don't have a tech skill, I will advise you that you should get a tech skills. So the first speaker talked about some of the programs that PICOMA offer. I know data analytics is part of it. And we also have some tech roles that you can actually subscribe into. So you can participate in this program. So learn that tech skills. Learn that tech skills. There are financial analysis, data analytics, cybersecurity, and some other tech roles. So, but make sure you just reach out to the management of PICOMA, reach out to the phone number on the chat to actually get that skill. And in order to finalize on it, there are AI. Now, the world is transitioning into AI, artificial intelligence. AI is not here to take our jobs, but to be honest, if you don't have a tech skill, AI might eventually take your job. So you need to have that, be on top of your game, learn how to use AI, learn how to make AI to do part of your job. Integrate AI with some of the things you do. So there are some things that you ask AI to do and the AI will not do it perfectly. You still need your input to check, okay, this thing, I can make it look better this way and this way. But make sure you try as much as possible to ensure that AI is integrated in what you do presently. So yes, I believe I've been able to answer your question. Let me know before I hand over to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Michael. We also invite Mr. Daniel to say something if he has something to say about it. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right, just a minute. So if I got your question very well, you were asking about moving out of the country via what's it called? The job routes, yeah, most likely employment routes. That's the question, yeah.
Yes, I think that's the question.
All right. So I would say it is actually relative, right? And to be honest, I can only give advice from my standpoints, right? Considering the fact that I worked in audits, and so if you see, it's like a transition from KPMG Nigeria to KPMG Hungary, so it was quite a smooth transition, right? But to be honest, there are various roles that are opened that people can actually apply to. Generally, I'll just drop a few. Yeah, in Hungary, that's if you're able to get them. You need to actually have that strong value for them to actually bring you in, right? So you would see companies like Citibank. What's the other one now? There is Citibank. There is Aggo. There is I'm trying to remember one that does constant recruitments here in Hungary. So Citibank, KPMG, we stopped recruiting from Nigeria, generally from Africa because of some laws, but I think Citibank still takes that initiative. Yeah, so I think majorly the one coming to mind, if I have any other one, I'll drop. But for now, it's Citibank. Check Citibank, Hungary. You know how you search on LinkedIn. Check, do you meet the criterias? If you meet the criteria, you can actually apply. And if you're fortunate, you can get a call and get the job, right? So yeah, that's it from my end. But basically, it's just about positioning yourself. Like your LinkedIn, it needs to be properly optimized. Your application letter needs to be top notch, and then your experience must actually tell. Your experience must actually tell it all. Like you must be able to put your experience at the forefront. So yeah, that's basically it for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. Somebody was asking, can you kindly share your LinkedIn profile?
Well, if you just search my name, Daniel Sadu, I think there are only a few people that answer such name. So yeah, you would see me there. It's fine. I can't share because I'm using my phone now. So
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
thank you.
So, hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, Oluwafemi.
Yes. Sorry. Is it possible to have one-on-one chat with any of the panel also?
Yes, it's possible, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Then, how about the request I made, sir?
The recording will be available, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Oluwafemi. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Michael, for the session today. It was really, really rich and insightful. So for the closing remarks, I'll be inviting Mr. President to give us the closing remarks for today, and we'll call it a day. So Mr. President, kindly take the floor, sir.
All right, so I think we started about 3, and this is 6:36, and we still have some individuals who are still with us here, and that means that they are determined and they know what they want. I want to appreciate first the moderator who has made this program seamless. You've been able to anchor and organize all speakers and also the listeners of today's event. I want to appreciate you for that. And my appreciation goes to Mr. Michael Oluwalere, who was also a speaker in this presentation. Thank you so much for sharing more light on CV write-ups, cover pages, and its surroundings. I think many people have been missing out from that, but you should be able to share light on that. And I think they should be able to do some corrections on their CV going forward and ensure that they have specific CVs for individual job roles. And I think that will actually sell them a lot. So I think maybe we'll be having some other sections that will be talking more on how to apply for jobs and how to secure jobs. Because I know that many people do not really know how to get jobs. They just rely on the advert that they see on WhatsApp, maybe on a group, and they will tell you that they have been applying for 2 years, 3 years, and there's nothing to show for it. Maybe that's because they are missing out the streak, or they're missing out the ideas that is surrounded towards job application. So maybe we'll be looking at having a symposium going forward with regards to that with Mr. Michael Oluwalere. Thank you so much for being on this platform. Then another appreciation goes to Daniel Sado from Hungary, KPMG. Thank you for representing KPMG professionally. And as I've said earlier, I think I've not said that in this symposium, but Pathfinder will be bringing up a symposium going forward. I'm trying to speak to other connections that I have with regards to the Big Four. So we'll be bringing in the giant Big Fours, all right, in one room: KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, Ernst & Young, maybe Mazda, and maybe BDO. So let's get these professionals on one table and let's interrogate and get informations from them. I think you'll be much more interested in getting, I believe the audiences will be much more interested in getting, asking much questions and getting more facts. So let's look into that. I think Picoma will work on that and see how we are able to achieve this. And thank you so much for the for sharing regarding to the entry and progression in the Big Fours. So I know you'll be getting more messages from people that want to work in the Big Fours. Everybody wants to work in the Big Fours, but they don't know how to go about it. So you'll be getting more messages. I just hope that you'll be able to get give responses to them due to your tight schedule. My appreciation also goes to the Pathfinder team, the Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting, for organizing this symposium. Now, this symposium was actually orchestrated due to what I've said earlier, due to the challenges that accountants usually faces, and we decided to have the symposium immediately after the ICANN examination, which was held in November. We'll be able to have a good number of persons who'll be able to partake in this symposium. And I want to say that you shouldn't just be the listener in this particular symposium. You should be the listener and the doer. All presenters has actually given you their own tips. They've been able to give it and share a lot of knowledge. So what you just need to do is to put into work those knowledge. If you have your CV, start revamping your CV. If you have your LinkedIn, start revamping your LinkedIn, optimizing your LinkedIn. If you have not started making connections, start making connections. If spending money on certification is a start looking at getting at least certifications every year just to boost your reputation. There's some individuals that get certification not for job, but just for personal, let's say personal prestige. You get it. So you can get certifications for prestige. You can get certifications for whatever reason. But just ensure that you don't just stop learning. And it's not just all about certification. It's all about knowledge that comes with that certification. Whether you bag all the degrees in the world, do you still possess the knowledge to defend such degree? That is what we should be looking at. And that is where Pathfinder College actually comes in. Mr. Michael mentioned something that he was networking yesterday at the Oriental Hotels, where we had the World Innovators University 2025 honorary award, which was given to about 8 to 9 persons. And I won't have time to start those persons, but they are individuals that command the industry. And just to mention this one, the CEO and founder of Spectrum. It's a popular company that everybody knows. She controls over 1,000 staff. She was present with a representative in Nigeria at the event. So that is one part of networking. Now, when you tell people to go out and network, I think they find it much more easier lying on their bed, as if they are the one that you are pestering them, you are disturbing them. But they don't know that the day you go out, you are able to network with just one person. Get one person's phone number and don't just say hi. I make sure you follow up on that person every month so that the day you will need that person's help, it will not look strange. The person already knows that you have been connecting with him or her, and it will look very, very easy to catch up with you and going forward. So, due to that event, Pathfinder was also able to secure a partnership with the World Innovators University, which means that we are now the SIVA approved partner in Nigeria to run degree programs. So if you are looking at running a degree program in Nigeria for a certification that will be issued internationally, which is globally recognized, and basically you can also use that certification for your NYC in Nigeria. You can reach out to us. Our degree programs are basically 3 years as against the 4 years conventional that we have in Nigeria. It's a 3 years program, whether you're going for BSc accounting, BSc HRO, BSc management, BSc whatever you want to look into. We are absolutely available to take your admissions. For admission begins in September. So we'll be admitting students for BSc programs, MBA programs, and PhD programs right from September. And you can learn from the comforts of your home, okay, virtually just like this. And if you're in Lagos, so our tuition center in Ogba is not difficult for you. You can also join us at Ogba. We are giving you top-notch training and we are giving you top-notch certifications that will guarantee your success, okay? That will take you high or put you on top of the top of what professional competence. And that is what we are trying to do. So you can reach out to just go on Google. You can just type Accountant Pathfinder. It will come up. Or you can send a message to Mr. Emmanuel. Are you there? Can they get a number on the chat box? Let them send a message to the number for admission.
I dropped the number on the chat box.
All right. So for those that would like to further the education as BSc, MBA programs, MSc, or PhD programs, and the good thing is that the certifications are globally recognized. And apart from that, we also have a partnership with the Institute of Business Administration and Knowledge Management, which is also in collaboration with the Chartered Institute of Business Administration and Knowledge Management. So the same way we have ICANN for accounting, we also have IBAKM for applied management. And you will love their programs. They certify business administrators, that is managers, people that would like to sit at the echelon of a business decision. They want to drive businesses. These are the guys that sit there because throughout the training of being certified, imagine you are taking 12 courses in a diet, and those 12 courses are all centered around growing of businesses, growing of information, and the likes like this all. So even if you are chartered, as an accountant, you can still come on board and become a chartered manager where you learn applied skills that will take you forward. Admission is currently on, and because of the partnership that we have, Pathfinder, that is PICOMA, and the IBAKM, that is the Institute of IBAKM, we are currently running a discount, a bonanza, that is, let's call it that way, a scholarship, okay, a scholarship on the program. So if you have your BSc, if you have an MBA, you can actually use that to apply for these programs. When you apply for this program, you are able to convert your BSc to a chartered certificate. The beauty about the professional body is that you are able to complete 3 stages in a year. So it is 3 times in a year. The next examination would be in August, while the next one is going to be in December. So you'll be writing August. This August, we already have students that are writing this August, and also have other students that will be writing in December. Lectures will be commencing in June. That is this month's second week in June, because the first Saturday and Sunday, which is next week Saturday and Sunday, is going to be Muslim break. So there's not going to be lectures, but upper week, the lectures commences fully. So if you would like to register to become a chartered member from this institute, you can also chat up the number that has been shared by the moderator. Admission is currently on, as the examination is scheduled to hold in August, and lecture is scheduled to hold on this June. All right, so you can still register. It doesn't cost that much. It's the same money used for data that you can use to register for the professional body. I usually tell people there's no certificate that is a waste. You will never know for now until you get somewhere. So when you get somewhere, it may be that certificate that will later speak for you. All right, do not only plan for today, also plan for the future unknown. So please take note of that. All right. So if you have any information regarding to that, please pass that information to the number that has been shared to you. Then particularly what we do at Pathfinder, we teach applied training. So if there's anybody here that is also looking at getting an applied training, or we have courses like diploma in applied accounting, we have diploma in applied taxation and fiscal policy, we have diploma in data analytics, we have diploma in corporate performance management. We have a lot of diploma courses that if you undergo these courses, trust me, it is going to rebuild you, revamp you, and make you to be a top-notch professional that can challenge the status quo when you get to the economy, right? So you can also message us regarding to that, get that diploma courses. It's about 3 months, some 3 months, the short courses. Go with them and you are able to get certified. We also give you issue certificates on that. So you can also share the good news, all right, to your siblings, your colleagues who has written JAM, has missed out in JAM. Let them also come for the BSc. We'll host them perfectly well and give them top-notch academic training that will position them in the labor market. Also, we run ICANN programs using the flagging the name Accountant Pathfinder. The Accountant Pathfinder under Pathfinder College of Management and Accounting also runs ICANN program and ACCA program. And recently, we currently have a partnership with about 2 top organizations who has promised that they would give our students, let's say, first-hand treatment or first-hand attention when they tell them that they came or they schooled with Pathfinder. So if you have any ICANN student that wants to run their ICANN program or ACCA program, these organizations are not just national, they are international. They have their headquarters in the UK, and they have told us categorically clear that they would send all their job openings down to Pathfinder. What we just need to do is to give them the employees that they need. Okay, so what that means is that they trust our output, they trust our process, they trust our faculty, and they are saying that they don't want to spend money on trainings any longer. In as much as these persons are coming from you, we give them a go ahead. So it means that getting a job, if you school with us, wouldn't be much a problem. All right, so we have partnership with a medium-sized audit firm with headquarters in the UK, and we're also looking at having several partnerships with some job recruitment agencies who'll be looking at our students at first hand once you come up that you are a member or a student of Accountant Pathfinder. And also, if you're a student of PICOMA, maybe you also did any of our diploma programs, you also are covered. You're also covered with these privileges, right? So our headquarters for lectures is in Lagos, Ogba, and we also offer online teachings, all right? Online teachings via Zoom as we are doing right now, and the videos will be made available. Mr. Emmanuel must have shared the Zoom link, the YouTube link. Kindly check the chat box for the YouTube link. The video for this section will be dropped any moment from now after the section, so you can always rewatch and rewatch and rewatch and learn. All right. So I think that is all I have for now. We thank God for giving us the grace to see this day, and expect more from the PECOMA team as we move forward to seeing an accelerating educational system in Nigeria and international. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Thank you, Mr. Sanya Sadu, and thank you, everybody on board. Do have a great weekend and enjoy your nights. Thank you. Moderator, I think I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. So we call it a wrap. Good night, everyone. Have a nice day ahead. We'll see some other time.